Hi Solu. Hi Coda. Hi Varsity. Hi Warcraft. Hi Makoto. I'm just saying hi to everybody because Fizzy hit the start shared chat button early.
Oh, was it early? Sorry.
I think we normally do it after the intro so we can keep track of things better, but like...
I couldn't remember. I just kind of hit it.
Hi Frostbite. It doesn't really matter, to be fair. Now I have an excuse for saying hello to Fuzzy. Hi Fuzzy.
Hey, Fuzzy. Also, hi YouTube. I don't think anybody's there yet, but hi YouTube.
I don't bother streaming to YouTube.
I started my low one because I figured that if you wanted to, then we'd max out the bitrate if I did it on high. So we'll
I'm
do it
gonna
on
run
low.
a speed test and watch stream fall apart for the both of us. I normally stream to YouTube and Twitch, but today it's just Twitch because I don't have the multicast fully set up on this computer like I do at my home, which is ironic considering I set up all that relay shit.
I was
for
about
the
to
mobile
say.
stream.
just gotta finish your relay.
Yeah, really do. Hey, we've got 20 megabits or so of internet upload to spare.
Not really despair. I'm watching I'm watching despair happen.
Wait, why is yours falling apart and dropping frames and mine is still good? Oh, I guess because my computer can QoS within itself and yours just gets to
Probably.
eat girl dinner. All right, well.
Oh, my stream is like super behind now. Oh. Well, it'll sort itself out eventually.
I'm sorry, Fizzy stream. Do you want to retaliate? Do you want to?
No, of course not.
Okay. Hi, C2. You want an Oreo?
No,
May
that's
I
all right,
interest
thank
you in the culinary greatness that is humanity?
Oh, right, did lag.
Sugar
Lamau.
shit.
Nice. Sugar shit. Wow, you make it sound so appealing.
I try.
I think also you were like, these Oreos are bad, and I'm like,
They're not.
they're not right or something.
They're not right. They're not.
You know what it is?
Correct. What is it? Is it the weird milk?
No.
Is it the like super ultra high frequency pasteurization milk?
It's the moisture.
It's always the moisture.
It always is the moisture.
It's
yes.
not the moisture. I've had cookies that are humid before.
Well,
You know what it is? It's the fact that they weren't sealed properly.
oh, perhaps.
And that they're like a month old.
All right, well, we'll get some new Oreos.
No,
Or
I
I
don't
think we have Fig
care.
Newtons or something
I'm just
now.
saying. I'm just saying. Wait, where did my iPad go? Yoink. Okay, I forgot to set this up. This is my stream deck right now.
Nice-oo, nice-oo.
Hopefully it just works.
So, I guess we could,
Jump into it.
yeah. I put AFKai in my stream title. I don't know if we're gonna
AFKai?
talk about AFK.
No. See, we were supposed to do a fun, super exciting OffKai stream with lots of media and stories and video and photos, and we didn't capture a lot of video and photos, and we didn't remember most of what happened at OffKai the last time we talked about it, and we didn't stream. I forgot where I was going with that even, but at the least, if we're talking about OffKai, we have to tweet out the stream. We have to post. We have to plan. This is 20 minutes late. Ah.
Jeez.
Kill me. Hi, CKX. I am super happy to see you. It's been so long. I appreciate that you follow and you're still around. And thank you so much for popping into Twitch. And I really appreciate that you like my VTuber. Oreos are the best. See? See, Fizzy?
Oreos are good.
Oreos are good.
Oreos
Also,
are great. I mean, that's why we have them.
I'm gonna have to find this heiress person who has an IU emote. But thank you for the 30 bits to giantify our Ugu Overlord.
Also, I'm sorry about your 42 materia, Makoto. That blows. Well, I guess if you want to pull up footage of the thingy, then we could start talking about it.
The mobile stream?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Should I do it over Discord?
It sounds like we don't really have a better way of doing it, so.
I mean, I'm happy to like extrapolate ideas from our brains, but that is my vote.
All right.
I'm happy to try RTMP if you want, but
no, I think
Discord would work best.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, dokie. All right.
Wait, what are you scammed with? Toggle jacket. Why didn't it work? The Twitch linking is not. Look at this.
I can change my outfit. Look at that. Damn.
I'll just manually do it here. Toggle coat. I think you did. Yeah. Test
Hi,
trigger.
Shy Moth. Did I miss you when I was saying my hellos? We'll get shouted out, nerd.
Okay, that worked. It just took a minute. I don't know why Twitch is just like this now.
Oh yeah, Twitch is kind of chunky. It times out real easily. If you're getting scammed, Varsity, guess we'll just have to invite the big reset rock from the sky. I, for one, welcome our reset rock overlord. Where did I save my video of the stream the other day? Only my videos folder.
Yeah,
That's
Twitch
not
just refuses to connect the pub sub and event sub.
Pub sub. Sounds good.
So there's no events for the goddamn thing. all of the redeems are not triggering my like Twitch integration, which is super fun. I love that.
Yeah.
I'll try this. All right, I just like forced it to full refresh my connection, so. Okay, chat client works.
I wish you could seek video in studio mode, by the way, because Varsity. No, you cannot seek video in OBS in studio mode. Varsity wants to reset our Apocalypse Rock, and I was just gonna queue it up, but I can't because I don't know what the timestamp is for the rock in my intro.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because resetting just means we get to hit it again. I can't believe though, like, of all people, Varsity wants the apocalypse to happen multiple times.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Wait, why am I getting ads on your stream?
Should update to 0.2.6. God damn it.
Get subbed, loser.
Oh, I need to update. Why?
You have to update StreamerBot.
Yeah, but like usually it updates itself, so I don't know why it's not.
Usually it pops up a thing when I start it that says update. It doesn't
Yeah.
update itself.
Well, same difference though. Like it's not even. It's just not picking up anything. Whatever. I'll just go download it fresh, I guess.
What was I doing? Oh yeah, bringing up the stream.
Yeah, it's on 0.28 now, and mine's on 0.25. It is not updating. I wonder if there's like a bug in the updater in the particular version that I'm on. Very fun. We love problems like this.
Yeah?
No. Okay, I'm gonna make a zipped version of the friggin' kill me. Compress to zip file, please. Alright.
You can tell we're very planned. Very planned, very organized streamers. This is actually the Monday stream. Don't believe anyone who tells you it's Wednesday.
That's true.
We are on time. Definitely didn't have our sleep completely fucked by the Sunday night stream.
Well, okay, to be fair, the stream wasn't the problem. Exactly. I mean, like, okay, actually, kind of. Okay,
we hadn't
partially.
streamed. I wonder what time we would have gotten home because we were driving back from North Carolina on Sunday night, and then we didn't get back until 4 or 5 a.m.
It just depends on how long we were sitting in that parking lot, because I didn't think it was that long. Like, I thought it was like an hour. But how long do you think it was?
I think it was at least an hour.
It was definitely at least an hour.
I had people text me going, "Are you okay? You've been in a parking lot for a very long time."
I remember seeing that now. Oh, I remember seeing that now. Yeah.
I'm like, wow, you're stalking my location. Thanks.
I mean, they care.
It's okay. I like having a dedicated researcher who keeps up with me after I've broken containment. Even if I disagree with them.
Fair. Then I tried to update OBS, but the domain certificate had expired, so the internal updater didn't know what to do. Oh, fun. Very fun. God. Not exactly the same thing, but at work we have so many issues with ThreatLocker. It's great.
Oh, God.
Wasn't ThreatLocker the one that like
ThreatLocker
bricked a bunch of
sucks.
computers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Man, corporate IT is balls.
I mean, part of the problem is just that, like, especially because we're doing like government stuff, there's just, you know, I'm sure there's like requirements in place for what you're expected to have.
No.
Oh,
You're
okay.
expected to have security, and there are like detailed stipulations on how you secure and record keep and do this, that, and the other. But there's no stipulation that says use garbage like ThreatLocker. It's just
I can't argue with that.
hey, give us money and we'll make sure you meet these certification requirements, blah, blah, blah. Like, I've worked in government sectors before, not directly, but for companies that do government stuff and have secure channels for it.
Fair. It is the industry standard, but that doesn't mean it's good.
I don't believe that.
Well, there's a reason it bricked so many computers.
There's a reason your industry is the size of a small town and not, I don't know, big.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the ThreatLocker, like, bricking computers thing affected, like, a ton of stuff. Anyways, I'm not trying to argue that ThreatLocker's good, so I mean, we can just move on.
Bray, I ain't going back in time. I get paid tomorrow. Well, you can get paid again. That's the joy of going back in time, Varsity. You can correct your mistakes and work overtime. The agency needs to know where you are. You will be collected eventually and returned to containment, Ray.
All right, my streamer bot redeem should work again.
What do you think, Fizzy? Am I going to be returned to containment?
Do you want to be?
No.
Okay, then probably not.
Poda makes a good point. If you can do that, why don't you stop the other evil in the world, Varsity? Oh my god. All right, I swear, I'm pulling up the thing that I'm supposed to be pulling up.
Hey, I gotta try speaker bot at some point too. I'll do that later.
Oh. So my brain only works on one thing at a time, and because I'm like talking to stream and trying to listen to what you're saying and trying to read chat, I went to the music folder on my computer instead of the video folder, and then I forgot what I was doing.
Oh, nice.
What year is it?
1925. We're in the roaring 20s.
I don't have any videos from 1920s. What encoding was popular then? MKV?
Probably like
DivX?
flash photography.
Flash? Like FLV?
Sure.
The roaring 20s. Real video. Oh.
Jesus, real video. No, please.
I found a real video file the other day on my computer.
I'm actually, I don't know if I'm sorry. I'm intrigued.
Like, it's been carried forward so many years.
That is wild.
God, remember like having to install like the trial or like shareware version of DivX and having the like watermark on your stuff? Was it
Kinda.
DivX? No, yeah, it was DivX. DivX was the one you had to purchase a license to, and then Xvid came around, and Xvid was like the like free open source whatever version or something.
Fair.
God, imagine where the world would be if it weren't for Xvid. Real Player was awesome though. Like,
It was interesting. I remember using it, but
when the internet began, it was just audio. Like, there was like no video, and then Real Player came around. Or there was video, but
Fair.
it was like
sparse. Yeah.
because nobody had a fast enough internet connection for it.
Right.
So, when I first downloaded Real Player, or I guess it was just called Real Video at first, I think. Real Video Player. It blew my mind. Alright, I think I found the video.
Nice.
Can you imagine if QuickTime Player became the standard? I think Apple would have liked that quite a bit.
True. Very true. Very, very true. And we all know if Apple wants it, it's bad.
Alright, I'm gonna call you on Discord and then mute.
Go for it. We're trying to use Real Player videos on a 33.6 dial-up modem. Holy! Nice. Alright, I'm gonna put this on Twitch now. I hope you understand.
Yeah. Let's see.
Alright, let's see if this works. That's not the right window.
It's like we're watching anime together.
Let's see. Ta-da! Wow, it works.
No scuff whatsoever.
Scuff is an illusion.
So how do we want to do this? Like, do you want to like, I guess you can just grab my mouse and seek around the video a little bit. Should I mute audio?
Probably, or maybe just turn it to like 5%. Oh, will I get it? Yeah, I will get it. Yeah, you can just turn it to like 5%.
Right now it's at 25%.
Well, we don't, I mean, that's fair.
Can you hear it?
Not really. Oh, but I might have it muted. Hold on.
Hi, Patches.
Yeah, I don't hear it at all.
I'm gonna turn it up just as a test, just as a treat.
Yeah, I can hear it now.
Okay, I'll just leave that at 25. So we wanted to pull this up, chat, because we wanted to talk about what we did on Sunday night.
Pretty much. No, that was a lot of fun. Even if it was an extremely chaotic experience. We wanna refine it.
You're telling me I cannot emphasize enough how much work went into this?
Yeah, it was a lot. A lot of discussions, a lot of physical work.
How much work went into, or then was thrown onto the side of the road, basically.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is like, we had an idea and we got close to implementing it all the way with all of the bells and whistles that we had intended, and then we had to like drop some of the like add additions and complications that we wanted to make the thing a little bit better quality or more like more robust or whatever the case may be. Mostly, I think like I don't think we actually had to sacrifice that much in terms of like you know, like features, because like we didn't have that many features to begin with. Like I guess the idea was pretty sounded simple,
No.
but things that sound simple are not.
I wouldn't call them bells and whistles. They were more like quality standards that we threw out the window, like decent audio quality, like the ability to monitor our audio, the ability to have alerts and chat on screen, the ability for our platforms to go live properly, like graceful recovery if we disconnected. Thank God we did not disconnect.
Yeah, that would have been unfortunate.
Your stream would have stayed up, mine would have gone down, ironically.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Well, but even if it went down, it would have come back up, probably.
Come back up. I mean, if we got lucky.
If we got lucky. I mean, it was entirely hinging on reception, basically.
Yeah.
We were at the whims of the mobile reception gods, so. But look at that video. Holy crap. Can you full screen it? Or like remove the... Oh, not easily. Okay.
Like...
Is there any way to like pop it out so there's just no border? Otherwise, don't worry about it. You could try it. There you go. That works. That's good.
Yeah, at TVLC, there's an option for everything.
True.
The borders, though, they just make it more quaint, you know?
For sure. Yeah. No, it's a photo book or something.
Oh my god. Didn't you ever use like Window Media Player Classic? Have to download the like CCCP creators like video codec pack so you could watch your anime subtitled?
Jesus. No, I didn't do that, but I do remember like using that. And I remember getting like skins for it. Man, that was the day. Those were the days. Do you remember Windows Media Player skins? Hell yeah.
But like Media Player Classic, the point of it was to not use skins. So you'd have an interface that wasn't like the new bloated shit that came with, was it XP? God, everything's blurring together.
Why is my mouse dying? Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Frost gets it back when programs were cool.
Well, but like the skins that it had were so cute. I don't know.
Yeah, they were like green and blue.
No, but like there was also ones that like added like
they look like iOS
retro
26
looking. Yeah, I don't know.
Retro looking.
It's hard to describe. I could pull up pictures, but well, we probably better just getting back on track.
It was an era that was like the era that gave us like the like bubbly iMac PC that was like this big plastic translucent CRT thing.
Those were great. I love the
and Windows Media Player looked just like it.
Fair.
The iMac, I think.
Mac Mini?
No,
Not the Mac Mini. iMacs or something else too, I think. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, so that said, all of that said, anyways, holy crap, we got the thing working.
It was called the iMac.
It was the iMac? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Very cool. Because, like, God, it was a trip to get this working.
Yeah, chat. So for a little background, we talked about it a little bit on that stream and on the dev stream while we were trying to work on the setup for this. But that was like last Thursday, maybe?
Yeah, because last Friday we set out. So we were working on the thing the night before.
Yeah, like we didn't give ourselves enough time. That dev stream was like, we built the bare minimum and then we decided to ship it. And, you know, I wanted to do a mobile stream for forever. And I've done like scuffed iterations on my own, but never like a full-on one because you really need two people because for one, you can't read chat. Somebody has to read chat who's not driving. And so doing a proper mobile stream, in my opinion, requires two people. And I tried to get Fizzy to do it with me during the Eclipse trip and she did not want to unless she could prepare properly. So
I think I also remember just being kind of like, it was just not the best time.
it was not the best time.
I think I was just like tired and stuff too from the trip. I don't know. I remember. I don't remember exactly, but both times I was driving, ironically, both this and the other.
I mean, yeah, somebody had to set up all the back end. You want to set up all the back end?
Maybe. Next time.
I mean, it's so Fizzy came up with the idea to put a 360 spin on it, if you will.
Oh yeah. So I mean, as you can kind of see in the footage, we did the 360 camera, and we mounted it to the top of the car, and we threw it into Godot, and then we threw our VTuber models in the Godot with some Sprout magic, and then threw in some basic camera controls, and it was basically off to the races on that front, which was good. Like it worked more or less as intended once we figured out how to get the RTMP stuff into Godot, which was complicated, unfortunately, but we did manage it.
I'm gonna skip through this a little bit. But
Yeah, I think that's good, especially like looking for like parts where you're like moving the camera around. I think is like interesting, because like I think that was one of the things like that was really cool about our setup.
So it was really unfortunate that like we didn't get to start it during the day, because
Definitely.
we get going and we realize like there's nothing to see because it's all black. And so like the cool thing was, let me just skip to the end.
I was gonna say not that far.
Where's the part where I'm panning around? God, the controls are kind of jank.
Yeah, we improved them during the stream, but yeah, they started out real bad.
Basically we had the world in 360 like projected around us, and we were just in 3D in this model of a car. So we tried to basically map it to what we would see. You could see, chat. Hi, Dawn.
Hi, Don.
I'm not gonna read that. I don't know how to interpret that. I don't know, anything you want to say about the video thing? I'm drawing a blank.
I mean, other than like the video flipping and some other stuff like that, I felt like it went pretty well. Like there's definitely some improvements we can make to that front. But it was neat. Definitely like having it at night was like you said, was the downside. But even then, like there was parts that were cool about it, because like when you get into these little oceans of light, these little oases, I should say, of light rather, it was neat, because then it was just like suddenly you had things going on all around you.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no way to make it super interactive.
Yeah, no, I wanna get redeems in there eventually. It's just I don't know, like It's one of those things where we have to like evaluate like sort of the cost benefit of it and stuff. But you know, maybe if we have some more time, that would be fun.
It was really time consuming to build everything
Right.
here. Like,
Okay.
um, I think if anything, like showing the, what do you want to call it? Showing the development process on Friday made it seem like a lot easier than it ended up being.
Yeah, that was definitely something. Like, how do I put this? Like, the trick is that getting it all working in the prototype that we did in the dev stream had none of the complications of the real world hardware that we had to interface with. So it resulted in like a lot more complications, obviously. Like trying to get everything working live and like all interconnected was a huge undertaking in and of itself.
Yeah, we had to like getting the video from the X5 360 camera was notorious. Like that problem, it will only share to its cell phone app, and it will only do that on its own like hosted Wi-Fi. So you have the problem of like, how do I connect this to something else if you're connecting to your Wi-Fi and I can't connect this to something? Like I can't connect the phone that it's grabbing this video from to anything else. So we had to come up with a lot of like weird solutions. We ended up with like 3 different networks in the car, and had to like pass the videos through filters to get them into the different things because, well, we have like 3 different layers here. If you want to just briefly go over that.
What, the network?
No, I'm just gonna omit all the detail on that. But like the different sprout filters.
Yeah, I mean, like, we had to composite the VTubers because we couldn't use VNet because of the network restrictions that we had in place. And we had to get the video footage in from the X5, which required, like, we needed a way to get it into Godot, and, like, there are ways to use FFmpeg directly in Godot, but none of them look very refined, or, like, we'd really have the option to do much in the way of, like, what I'm looking for? Like, you need to use a lot of commands and stuff to get FFmpeg to do what you want, for streaming in FFmpeg. So, like, it was one of those things where we needed to basically use OBS as an intermediate, because OBS has some ways to transform that really easily.
Yeah. So we're like grabbing the video that's coming off the camera through OBS and then send it into Godot, and then grab the output from our like VTubers and stack them on top of each other, send that through OBS, get it through Godot. Like, I want to make a flowchart of this at some point because it's really just super over baked, and all these different layers add like latency. It'd be nice to figure out how to.
I mean, we could do that now, to be fair.
No, that would be really boring. But it kind of depends too on like what we want to do with this in the future. And we have some ideas. We'll probably keep tinkering with it, but of course, like, it's tricky because it's a lot of work without obviously getting to do anything with it right away. And of course, like, want to do something more interesting with it than just drive down the highway, especially at night.
I mean, even just driving during the day would be good, right? That would be a good start. We talked a little bit about doing a follow-up stream soon. We'll see. Like, it'd be nice to, certainly. But yeah, we'll see what time allows for and hopefully plan it out a little bit better.
Yeah.
Now that we know exactly what we need.
At the least it was an interesting experiment. Like, it was a lot of fun to do something different and to tinker with it.
Well, and we pulled it off. I think at the end of the day, like, even if it was a little scuffed, we did manage to make the thing happen. So
we made it work. It's really scuffed, but I think we could improve it.
I don't doubt we could improve it. Oh yeah, I mean, we talked about a number of improvements already.
We have a document somewhere with like at least 20 items listed.
Right. So like, we'll get there. It's just a matter of like, what can we do in short order? What can we do in longer time spans? How much are we going to use this setup, right? Because like,
not much. I mean, feel free to correct me, but
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's just kind of contingent on circumstance and stuff. I mean, like, it'd be fun, like, you know, imagine doing one of these once a week, but the problem is, like, we don't have,
what are we gonna do once a week? Like,
I don't know. Good question, I guess.
The hypothetical.
I guess the real problem there is that, like,
you don't go outside once a week.
Yeah, I do. I go to work 5 days a week.
Does it count as going outside if you're walking just from the car to the building?
Yes.
I think you should have to be outside for at least 5 minutes for it to count as outside.
I see. But yeah, no. It was fun. I really liked, like, it's tricky. I almost want to like put redeems in, like, get the bookmarked like
Camera
perspectives,
views.
yeah, camera views in, because that shouldn't take me long.
That is one thing.
And tie it to redeems would be kind of cool, like with a cooldown.
One thing Fizzy wanted to do is bookmarked camera views, where we like pre-define positions for the camera that work well, and then we could have hotkeys to just switch between them rather than trying to navigate around between them like we did in here. Because at first we had this, like, let me see one more, I'm panning around. We had this really scuffed like movement speed setup in Godot. So I keep trying to position the camera, and like one little tap of WAS or D would move the camera like a meter, and it was like trial and error trying to get it. And so I'd spend like 30 seconds to a minute trying to reposition the camera just to show chat something, and then have to do the same thing just to put it back. And later we narrowed that down, but again, trying to point and position in 3D space, you're never gonna get the same position twice.
Right. No, I think the bookmarks is a necessity. I think controlling it with redeems would be fun. I also think that, like, part of the issue here for me is just, like, I need to spend more time actually working on things in Godot. Like, obviously I did a handful of dev streams. If you're in my chat, maybe you saw some of those. But like, I need to do more. Just like the lack of familiarity here cost me some. Like, I was able to get things in fast enough, and like I probably could manage. I don't know. My brain is imploding.
Fair enough. Well, this is kind of why we're doing this in a way, so you can play with it more.
I suppose that's one way of looking at it.
I mean, I like doing experimental stuff regardless, but I would not have gone and tried to do a live like Godot application in 3D to map things like that.
Fair.
I mean, it's really novel and kind of jank, and maybe we're just more excited by the concept than like anybody else is, but
Well,
and you can see the like definitely struggles of positioning the camera, but yeah.
I mean, the way I look at it too, I mean, there's like a few aspects. It's growing pains, right? Like we're trying something new and we've never done it before, and we tried to hammer it out in like you could call it a weekend, basically. Like, you know,
we like aside from like an hour or two of just like vegging out in the car, like once you've gone through all the work of loading it up, I feel like Friday when we were driving down, I spent like most of the drive just trying to get the back end stuff finished and ready. And then by the time it was kind of ready, it was like, well, we actually have to put everything in place and load it up. And is the signal good enough here? And are we too tired? And Sunday, it ended up being more of the same, and then putting it in place became, oh, there's this bug and that bug, and then, oh, we're running out of battery power faster than we can actually like get this going. Let's just throw a bunch of stuff out and make it work as fast as we can. That was the one thing that took our audio out, was we don't have enough electricity to worry about setting up the audio properly.
no, yeah, we made a judgment call where it was like, listen, we're at 50% power or 40% power on our main battery, which is driving like the majority of the setup and literally will not function without that battery. Just toss out the Go XLR, not literally, and let's just switch to microphone audio or laptop microphone, because like we can get that working in like 2 seconds and it'll work and it won't drain extra power.
I definitely thought about chucking the Go XLR out the window.
Yeah,
sure.
that's fair. Can't agree with that.
I had a laptop on my lap, the Go XLR like on the side of my thigh.
There literally just wasn't room for it, I remember.
And then I had the iPad running the like camera feed because of the Insta360 app on like the center console. Gotta figure out a better way to do all that. And if we do all this again, we need to like lay it out and like map out how it's gonna actually look like before we try to put it in the car.
That's fair. I mean, in part too, so there's an added aspect to this that we hadn't really talked about, which, well, we had talked about, but just to touch on it again, one of the complications, especially on like getting everything into Godot and stuff, we didn't want to open the camera until we were sure that like at least 90% of the setup was going to work. Which meant that in practice, like, we had a little bit of extra complication. Thankfully, not that much, but a little bit of extra complication to get things working once we actually were like, okay, the rest of this seems to be working more or less. Let's get everything on battery power and get the X5 open and cranked and everything. So
Yeah. And then what, we got like 2 hours before all the batteries died?
yeah, just about, almost. It was like 10 till 2 hours, something like that.
That was much better than I expected. That was kind of a miracle.
It was. We ended up like, I mean, we talked about it on stream, but we kept bouncing on and off the battery power of the Jackery, like the big battery that we had for the laptop. So the laptop would like charge up to like 20 or 30%. Of technically, first it was like 44%, and then down to like 20%, and then 10%, and then finally we just were like, okay, we're out of battery power, and then the X5 died. So it all kind of worked out, but yeah, it was exciting.
Yeah, thought the laptop was gonna be the first thing to go. or just everything. And then the just decided to unplug the laptop from the camping battery, and
We had to. The Jackery was at 4% battery, and we needed it to run the network switch. So, and we needed the network switch.
It was really funny before I realized the Jackery was at 4% because my laptop started having graphics defects, even though the battery was mostly full still. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I realized, wait a second, unplugged it. It switched over to battery. And so we ran off it for a little while the Jackery recharged. Because it had been connected to the car the whole time, but it still drained more than it would charge.
Yeah. Also,
it was really funny too, because we were about ready to start, and then like something happened that like killed the network interfaces on everything. It ended up being the VPN.
Yes, yeah, I remember that.
And then so like we spent like an extra 30 minutes troubleshooting, and if we hadn't had to do that, like we could have driven through the city. Which is a shame.
Maybe. I mean, there's a lot of little things that like, but I think for as many things as went wrong, I think there was like 3 things that went right. So like
3?
Yeah.
Is that good or bad?
Good. Like what I'm saying is like, yes, there was some things that went wrong and slowed us down, but there was a lot of things that didn't go wrong. So.
Yeah.
Like imagine if the workaround for the X5 RTMP stuff didn't work. Like imagine, you know, like there was any number of things that could have like just completely ground the whole thing to a halt.
Yeah, I had alternative ideas for that, but nothing good. Definitely nothing good. And a lot of the solutions and ideals for this could definitely be made better by just throwing money at problems. But
absolutely. Yeah, we I think we brainstormed what, like $2,000 of extra equipment that we could just like.
Well, the easiest one is like throw just like a giant camping battery in there. Like get the YouTuber special, like, you know, 2,000 watt hour camping battery. Then you'll have, you know, like 6-8 hours to run everything at full tilt at least.
Right.
Get better mobile internet. There are definitely ways to do that, and the more money you have to throw at that problem, the better. So on and so forth. But like, we didn't want to spend any money on this that we didn't have to. Like, absolutely nothing that we didn't have to. The camping battery, Busy already had. I don't know. We reused pretty much everything except the X5 for this.
I was gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the X5 was like the only thing that wasn't just a repurposed item. Like the network switch even was like just taken from my room, I think.
Yeah, I stole it off your desk at the last minute. Like I was like, I think we won't need this, and this is like overkill. But what if we do? What if I need it? And then sure enough, like, it didn't work the way I was hoping. Like, I remember like 2 days before we were planning on doing this and we were talking about it, and I was like, Fizzy, what if the Insta360 app won't let the camera join? Like, what if it won't stream to a network? Like, it would have to, right? But like, what if it didn't? And then it didn't. So I'm glad I'm glad at the last minute I'm like, no, I'm bringing the stupid network switch. It'll be my luck that we don't have it, and then we're screwed.
Yeah.
And then we have to buy another one somewhere, even though there's one sitting here.
God, I wish we could afford just satellite internet.
I think, personally, and I apologize in advance, chat, but I think running it over cell is kind of charming.
It's got its upsides and downsides. I actually think they're probably, like, I don't know how reliable the satellite internet is. So.
Yeah. No, it could be that satellite's not better than cell. And yeah, I would love to do it with satellite and just eliminate all the variables and the concerns. But I mean, like, if money's no object, then like, what's the point of even doing this?
Well,
You know?
because I mean, we still have to do all the setup.
Well, like, if we had an unlimited budget, this would be so trivial. Like, sure, nobody to my knowledge has done like a 360 like VTuber stream like this live. Um, and I've wanted and planned so much mixed reality sort of stuff that I've wanted to do, but I can't because of space, money, time. But I don't know, it's just cheating to like throw money at some of these problems. Or it's not cheating, it takes out some of the charm. Like, nobody cares if you cheat. You know, you make a really nice polished thing, but like, it's not really an adventure if you can just be like, oh, let me just rent a van and put like tons of equipment in that van and buy pro gear that like nobody can get their hands on. Like,
That's fair. I mean, like, I don't think that we could have solved that many problems with money. I think that's the way I look at it. Although I will say, like, the battery one is funny, but we have like workarounds that are on the cheap that we're like thinking about trying for that. So
I can absolutely think of a way to. I can think of a lot of ways that we could make this very, very interesting with a very different budget. 3D,
that's fair.
3D models.
Oh, sure.
Fully tracked.
I mean, that would be awesome, but
map everything to the like vehicle interior proper. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just buy a Porsche.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a Porsche.
No, it doesn't. I think the funny thing is that my, but yeah, unfortunately, my car was not the most popular, so it's not like we could just go grab a 3D model of it that had a modeled interior very easily. Like, we looked, chat.
Yeah.
We were, and I was like about ready to spend $80 on a model off of like Turbo Squid if we had to, but they just didn't. There was none with like interior modeled. Like the exterior, sure, not the interior, and we mostly, ironically, care about the interior here.
Yeah. So to go back and answer a couple things from chat. Also, Varsity. Who was it earlier that mentioned not being able to experience a drive-through?
Yeah, it was Varsity.
Why is my like screen chat not working? Well, I guess it is. It's just really weirdly positioned because my scenes are all broken because I'm traveling. Hi, Zara. Hope raid is going well. So, to be honest, even though like we ate before, I didn't want to go through a drive-through on stream unless we had a couple things like set up and ready. One of those is like an easier way to control the scenes and the audio. Like, I wanted like a button to mute really easily and not have to like fumble for it, because I feel like if we go through a drive-through, there's a slim chance they dox us.
Maybe. Also, hi Brudimus, hi Ingoon, god damn it, Ingoon.
Hi, Brudimus. Hi, Ingoon. But yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, some safety precautions would be good in that case.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I just didn't do anything. Sorry, Ingoon.
Oh my god. So much is broken right now.
Well, it's just there's nothing for it to UAV online because I don't have anything ultra wide. I should just disable it.
Hi, Code Void.
I'll refund you, Ingoon.
I think though that, like, if we wanted to do that in the future, it'd be pretty easy to set up. It's just we need the time to actually implement all these things.
Yeah, there's just a lot of little tricky things.
Yeah, it's kind of like, is it worth it? And And like, how often do we actually want to go wandering around on an adventure? Because we don't do this in the cities where we live, of course.
Right, it would be a bad idea to do so. Hi, Code Void. She, they for me.
Yeah, it's fine with me too.
That said, though, like it would be fun. We talked about like bringing this to sort of like, how should I say? Like we talked about doing this as like an IRL stream, but it's tricky to figure out how to make this work, because I think part of the appeal of doing this car thing is that we have the ability to like
Show chat stuff.
yeah, like it's like we have the ability to pan around in 3D. And we have the ability to have our VTubers. Like that is one thing. Like we talked about, if we were on the ground, we don't really have a way to like do tracking, because either our faces are visible or they're not.
Yeah. So like, we just the other day, like yesterday, started thinking about like, wait, we could take this out of the car and we could just turn this into a backpack stream. We could just take chat with us for a walk or what have you. It's not like there's not tons of people who just do stupid IRL streams. I don't want to say stupid, but you know what I mean. But there's no good way to do that in public without with VTubers, without looking like an idiot. I don't want to draw attention to myself, let alone look like an idiot more than normal.
Yeah, like we've talked about ideas for doing capture for that, but it's complicated for sure. And there's no like one size fits all solution. And unlike this, like this was something where I at least felt moderately comfortable with all of the pieces involved, and then it was just a matter of like getting them all to fit together in Godot and stuff for that side of it. Whereas like for doing IRL tracking stuff, it's tricky.
Yeah.
Does Rory drive like a maniac? No. Maybe a little fast sometimes.
What's your definition of maniac?
That's actually a good question. And congrats, Code Void.
On this trip, I think I drove pretty reserved. Or at least, I don't think I can say anything beyond that.
Fair.
I don't know who else is in earshot.
The fear in Fizzy's eyes. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Blink twice if you never let go of that. What is that? What is that? Is this shit handle a term?
Oh shit handle. The oh shit handle is the like proper name of the thing at the top over the window, the handle that you can reach up and grab above the doorway. On a lot of cars. Very Kenyan drifting stream win. Oh god, there's so many things. There's so many things that I've thought of that you could do with this. The Insta360 X5. So Fizzy hasn't heard this yet. This is an idea I cooked up today while I was driving around without her. The Insta360 X5 has a mode called Bullet Time. And that's just where it basically goes slow-mo and you swing the camera around in a circle, so you create like a slow motion like...
It's like a pan around kind of thing.
Right. Where it looks like time slows down and the camera moves around you somehow in like the span of like only a couple seconds with that slow motion effect. And they did this in the Matrix by like using a ton of cameras and building this giant rig. I just heard Fizzy get hit with the fucking metal pipe redeem. Ow. But at least it didn't come through my speakers this time. Wow, that hurt. Oh my god, you're loud. But yeah,
You're fine, Ingoon. It's working as intended.
The X5
Ow.
though, it just has you like swing the thing around and it takes slow motion video to make it work. But I'm like, you know, we could incorporate this into a vehicle. And if you incorporated that into a vehicle and, you know, like drift that vehicle, then that would make for some really interesting footage.
Terrifying.
And it's not like I haven't drifted a vehicle before. My Miata is set up in a way that if I put shitty tires on it, I could drift that thing all day long. So what if we took this setup to a track and did a high performance stream? Now, I think that might affect the like insurance for like a performance driving event, but like it would definitely be interesting.
I wonder if it would be, you mentioned, like, I've seen that,
Whoops.
I've seen that thing in question. You have to flip or like have the camera go around you at pretty good speed. The trick with that when you're driving is that you have a ton of forces already acting on the device. So like, I'm not really sure if you could spin it around in the same sense because you're already having tons of G's just from the car.
So you would need to build a rig for it for sure.
Hi, Tora.
I think it would be kind of trivial. Like it wouldn't be zero work, but like you could build a rig to do it. It would have to be firmly mounted though. It wouldn't be like a suction cup ordeal because this thing would be like 5-10 pounds of like PVC or something.
Okay, got you.
The thing with the Miata though is like it has a roll bar. It has good mounting surfaces.
No, that's fair. I can't argue with that.
So yeah.
Not really a stream thing either, I guess is the other. But you know that.
I mean, yeah. Not super conducive, but like possible. Yeah, but better for just recording for sure. Well, what else we got?
Yeah, I don't know. I would like to do. I mean, I think we talked about it, and we've maybe even like purchased, like I said, a small amount of equipment. We're trying to keep this really budget conscious because neither of us have a ton of expendable like. What's the disposable cash?
Yeah, disposable
right this
income.
minute.
It sucks because
so-
like when I had disposable income, I didn't have time to do anything.
That's the trick.
And now I have the opposite problem.
Oh, was that lightning?
In the video?
Yeah.
How far does it?
That I think like 2 or 3 is.
Oh yeah.
plenty. Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Are we in New England? No.
No, most certainly not. No, this was probably somewhere in Georgia, if I had to guess. Maybe northern Florida.
I don't think we were in Georgia at that point.
We actually captured, ironically, the passing of the Florida,
Oh,
welcome to
yeah.
Florida sign. Somewhere in there. The wheel is on the right. Oh, it's because we flipped the video feed.
We couldn't flip the video
Not easily.
on when we realized we were live and the actual like outdoors video was reversed from the rest of the stream. We didn't have a way to flip it at that point. So the only thing we could do is flip the whole stream or just flip
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing. Leave the outside flipped.
All
so
right.
we eventually just flipped the whole stream.
Yeah, that was a fuzzy. Oh dear.
Jeez.
Yeah, the Fazuri classic.
We need like challenges though. That would be one thing for
Was that more lightning?
a proper venture. Probably.
One more
bring-
rewind.
I need a timestamp on the screen.
True. Alright, maybe I'm just. Oh, there it is.
I looked away, but it's fine. To answer a couple other questions from back in the chat history, do you know how to execute a bug slide? I don't know what that is, Fuzzy.
That's probably a Trackmania thing if I had to guess.
Is it really?
I don't know. That's just that. Oh yeah, no, bug slide. That's definitely Trackmania.
Is that like bug snacks?
Why
Why would bug slide be Trackmania? I know Fuzzy loves Trackmania, but like I played Trackmania for like a year and I've never heard of that.
I think Fuzzy's probably showed me a video of it. It's like a slide where you're bugged. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know.
Cool. Interesting. And does cloud cover affect it? No idea. Never used it. That was from talking about like satellite internet.
Yeah, I mean, again, satellite internet would be nice. It'd be cool if we had like a. Can you imagine if we had like a failover and everything with a relay on the other end, and then oh man, that'd be cool. But yeah, no, just no, no. Satellite internet is so expensive.
Failover with a relay on the other end. I mean, we're using a relay server to do all this because we don't expect it to be reliable in the slightest. So we would have failover capability for sure. The only problem is right now we have to failover manually. So whoever is not driving has to be able to, you know, reconfigure the network on the fly. Which is why it was Fizzy driving in both times. I'm sure Fizzy wants to do this again in part so she can be the one who's not driving. But we weren't ready for that yet.
Well, yeah, I mean you were doing setup to the last minute, which like because like there was just a lot of setup to do and we hadn't had time to like properly outline everything.
I mean, there's a lot of infrastructure that goes into making this work, and nobody wants to listen to all the infrastructure boring setup.
I don't know. You might be surprised by that part.
Well, the important thing here is you know the infrastructure setup so that if I'm driving, you can make it work if it fails.
Yeah, I mean, and there was some trial and error and stuff too. It was just complicated. The whole thing was very complicated. Hi, Tony.
Yeah. Hi, Tony. Hope you're hanging in there as well. But yeah, chat, if there's anything you want to see or you want to make suggestions, as usual, you can let us know. You can find us on Discord. You can do whatever.
Yeah, please do. Like, we're
Fizzy's receptive. I'll ignore you.
Well, the way I look at it is that like this is like
JK.
something that nobody's ever really done before, which is very exciting, but also means there's a lot of ground to tread. So, you know, like we will come up with a lot of ideas. But you know, there might be things that we're not thinking of.
So what you're saying is we should milk it while we can.
Sure.
In any case, nah, like for sure, like drop stuff in our Discords or something if you think of anything you think you would want to see us do with this. I, for one, want to bring it to space.
Oh, okay.
Cause I mean, how hard could it be to build a spaceship, right?
Jesus. You know, I guess with like infinite money, you could just have X5s be disposable and you could just mount them to whatever you wanted.
How attached are you to your new X5? It's
I'm
ironic.
pretty attached. It's in my purse.
Well, that's not on your person right now, is it?
Jesus.
The ironic thing is, I've wanted one of these cameras for like a year, and I've like held back even when I had a job because I'm like, I need to pay down my debt and blah blah blah. And a month ago or so, Fizzy's like, we don't have the money to like meet up right now, so like just, you know, we'll figure it out later. And I'm like, okay. And then like Fizzy gets this idea this week, and it's just like, I need a 360 camera. And I'm like, oh no. And she like, she was like this close to buying like a really shitty like $200 360 dash cam that would not have worked. She would have bought it, opened it up, spent all this time in it, and then just would have no way to make it work without it being like incredibly scuffed. Like screen capturing a phone for like a shitty dash cam app, and it would probably time out on you after like 5 minutes. So I'm like, okay, if you're gonna do this stupid thing and you're gonna spend $500 stupid dollars on it,
2. Okay, that one was cheaper at least. The one upside.
no, that's not an upside if you spend $200 on a paperweight.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you're gonna do it, at least buy the camera that it will actually work in. Buy the like X5. You know, I've done my homework on it. You can do that. You can do this with it, and it actually has decent low light performance, because knowing us, it'll be night before we actually get this shit going. And sure enough, it was.
Yeah, I love this because like you can see, like you can pan around the camera and everything else. It's really good.
I love that you can actually make out the clouds. Like, sure, more low light performance would be nice, but this is pretty much what the eye could see, which
Yeah, give
is
or
really
take.
impressive.
Give or take.
Like maybe a little less, but I'm used to like GoPro footage.
Just freaking so high. Was the camera tilted? Like,
Maybe ever so slightly.
okay.
I had to climb up on the side of the car to like put it on the roof,
Well,
and I'm short.
I'm mostly just wondering, like, do I need to compensate
Do you
for
need
it?
to compensate?
Do I need to compensate for it in software? Because like we
Um,
compensate for the wide rotation, like the yaw. I'm just wondering if I need to compensate for pitch too.
Well, yes. Look at the horizon. You can see it's slightly tilted.
Yeah, that's basically what I was getting at. Okay. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Like it's barely tilted though. Like look at the road where it meets the like horizon point in front of you. Like if you
Yeah.
imagine a plane where the road intersects the horizon and then the plane of the dashboard, they are slightly off.
Yeah, something to work on later, I guess.
Was that the fucking mall from Back to the Future? I have no idea. Where was Back
Probably
to the
not,
Future
but-
filmed? Probably not true. How attached are you to your mortal vessel?
Jesus.
There was definitely another point this weekend where I was tempted to throw the stupid camera out the window and run it over with the car.
What?
What?
Why?
Why? Because that's what happens when you get frustrated.
Oh. Well,
Does-
fair enough.
Does your species not get frustrated and destructive?
I mean, I don't know about species, but I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways. You know, the thing too is like the camera, I remember having this thought of like, do I need pitch correction as well? But I think my thought was that the camera has some kind of like horizon stuff built in. I just don't know if it's active when you're doing RTMP.
If you've looked at the app where you have all these different buttons for different things, you can change how the video looks.
Mm-hmm.
None of those appear when you're doing RTMP.
Oh, there's the Florida sign.
Here, I'll go back.
Neat.
All that disappears when you're doing RTMP, and you can't like do much of anything.
God, the quality, even over like a stream,
I feel like
is crazy.
I wonder if we can get the quality to be a little bit better still.
It's
because
possible.
The footage that it can capture, this would be like sharp, I feel like, where you could actually make out the word Florida.
It's tricky because I think at most it's probably not streaming in 8K. I think at most it streams in 5.7K. So I'm not sure.
I don't know what that really like means as far as a 16:9 video. Like when you cut out a 16:9 like piece of that. Or you know what's a better way to put it is the video RTMP feed coming from the thing has the whole 360 thing flattened.
You're going once.
Yes.
I just want to look at that green sign that we passed.
This road sign?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is like once you get close,
Agricultural inspection next right.
like aside from some motion blur because we're traveling at 70 plus miles an hour,
Mm-hmm.
that's like pretty good. Especially for low light, it's insane.
Yeah, it is impressive.
So like, I don't know how much better we can get.
No, that's fair, but like, basically, I know the RTMP feed was more than 1080p, but I think it was only like 2K.
Right, which I think is the 5K that they claim, basically.
Well, no, think about it.
Oh, you think it's even lower?
No. They claim 8K recording. I don't know where you're getting 5K from, but like, I know this thing can record at 8K. But I think the RTMP feed at most was 2K because it was slightly larger than my
Your canvas.
my OBS canvas at
Yeah, that's
1920
fair.
by 1080. It looked about 2560 by 1440 or something wider, but it looked like height-wise it was only 1440, which I think is 2K.
Yeah, I don't know. They the video preset that I think. Well, I don't know.
Something
can't
to
remember
add
where-
to the list to play around with.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I had a reason for thinking that the stream was at 5.7K, but I can't remember what it is now.
The problem is, because of the way we get the video from RTMP into Godot, I have to set up an entirely different OBS. Like, you were
Right.
like, oh, we don't need separate OBS instances. Just use nested scenes and filters and do all this stuff in one OBS. I'm like, okay. I don't know if that'll be great, but I'll do it because I'm lazy. And that means less things to open and worry about on the day of, or when we start it.
When it worked, right?
Yes, it worked, but it didn't allow me, when that video was the wrong size, it didn't allow me to change the canvas size to match. So I was just like, okay, I just have to pray that this works properly. So either the filter being attached to the source, just let it grab the source at its native resolution. And so that's actually what we're looking at. Or it compressed it down even further.
My assumption, well, actually, I don't know. There's an easy way to test that though.
We need more, like, we do need some like instrumentation to test that.
Yeah, like, so there's two things. The first is I would love to eliminate OBS from that particular part of the pipeline altogether. I don't have a problem using it for the VTubing compositing because like whatever, but for the, I would like to just run FFmpeg from within Godot basically and just stream it directly to Godot without OBS as an intermediate step.
Yeah.
Because then we can guarantee we're getting the raw footage at the highest resolution and we probably wouldn't have to worry about flipping.
And
Probably.
We're doing away with latency. I want to do away with the VTuber compositing though.
I would like to, but I don't know how we can, because we actually have to like apply processing to that. The only thing I could think of is if we could
Processing.
guarantee
How do we have to apply processing to that?
the compositing itself.
The compositing itself. There's no compositing. You just put two different like things in Godot instead of one.
So we can do that, but the problem I ran into is that I didn't have a clean way of differentiating which sprout output we were getting,
Just like
because VTube Studio is very opaque about that, very black box.
they just get numbered.
That is what we found out, yeah, because I can't remember. I think you pulled it up in like OBS or something.
I can open it up in many different applications, but yeah, they just get numbers assigned to them. So just get whatever starts with VTube Studio and then assign numbers to it, and then
in
just
retrospect.
populate it at random, and then just have a hotkey that'll switch the two.
Yeah, no, in retrospect, absolutely. The problem is that like we didn't even we didn't account for that until the day of. So the compositing was the quickest solution that we could implement basically. But that said, like, yeah, no, and plus I actually do kind of want to separate them anyways. And the reason for that is because I want to be able to do
The billboarding.
yes.
So we could always be looking
at the camera. Right.
You know,
thank you for the C++ code.
hell
C2.
yeah, C2.
But
nice. I know you raised the scuff charm aspect of having no billboarding, in that like I can pan around and see how flat our 2D models are from the right angles.
Right.
But realistically speaking, that could be yet another hotkey. Like we could just have an option to turn that back off if you wanted to add the scuff back in.
Also, oh yeah, no. Like the more time I have to develop on this and the more things we think of, the better. The other thing too is if we were doing billboarding, or rather if we were doing separate sources, we could rotate our models 90 degrees in VTube Studio and get higher resolution.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Another thing, do you think long term, if we decide to do this more in the future, could we build this instead of running it through Godot's engine editor?
Yeah, of course.
And add like a config page so we can like adjust parameters in the application itself that's been built?
Also doable, just more work.
I mean, I can help.
The main thing is that like I kind of like initially I was thinking that I wanted to build it into an application actually, but I kind of went back on that because we get the same flexibility that like Unity gives you where you can tweak values in real time, and like we needed to use that at several points during the thing because like this was very much a like this is our maiden voyage with this. Yeah,
so
we need to
we needed to do it live.
We had some stuff to do. Yeah. So
that's why I'm saying for the future, because even right now, if we do this again, like we ran up against the efficiencies, and running it in the editor, we lose a lot of efficiencies.
Certainly, yeah, it costs us some performance at least.
Plus, it's just neater not having 400 windows to alt-tab through.
Of course. No, and plus, like, obviously Godot applications, especially an application that's this slim, like, we don't have to do a lot with this application. Builds very quickly, and therefore, like, even if we had to make changes, we could still make changes on the fly. It would just have a slight delay.
Stealing your sour worms.
Go for it.
Oh. Like, oh god, they're so sour. Don't mind me not drooling. Hi.
Hi.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Nothing, it just mouth sounds were loud. Oh.
She doesn't like the ASMR shop. If we don't have power issues in the future, the efficiencies aren't a big deal except for the fact that the laptop cooks my lap. But I have a plan for that too. Or a workaround rather. Like I'm trying to reduce things as much as possible to get this to be smoother, but wow, it's the Rosers. But I'm thinking that like anything we can do to decrease latency would make it better, because it's not as immersive as a normal stream when the model doesn't line up with your movement and you can't puppet it properly. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting to measure, because like the thing is, if it's on the order of like 10 milliseconds, it doesn't matter. If it's on the order of like 100 milliseconds plus, then it starts to become like a very noticeable part of the sort of latency chain. So I don't know. Like it's hard to know without benchmarking it, which is easy to do, thankfully. We could just point a phone camera, or ironically the Insta360 in the 120 FPS mode at the monitor, and just have VTube Studio next to our Godot application. We could actually do that like tonight or tomorrow. Honestly, that would take 2 seconds.
Okay, I'm not doing that tonight because it's 11 p.m.
Okay.
But also, I'm not doing it with an Insta360. We don't need a fucking Insta360 everything.
No, of course not. I just like that it has 120 FPS mode, which I think our phones can. I don't know if our phones can do that or not.
Oh my god, bless your heart. It's like you read all the marketing material.
No, I just like poked through the settings. I did also look at some marketing material, in fairness.
Well, do you even know if that, how that gets mapped to the actual video? Like,
What do you mean? Sorry.
if you encode, if you record video from it at 120 frames per second, does it get mapped as 120 frames per second? Or does it do slow motion where it maps it?
I think I can do both. I can do both.
There's settings for that?
Yeah, there's 2 different modes. Slow motion is its own mode.
Because effectively it doesn't matter, but I've seen so many cameras where they're just like, oh, we're gonna make this slow-mo and we just encode it this way. I guess because they don't think people will be able to figure out how to edit it. Like, I guess Windows Movie Maker doesn't give you an option. I don't know.
Weird.
But yeah, no, I just, anything should be enough. You don't really need to like think about 120 frames per second, but pretty much anything to do that this
Well,
can
yeah.
do that now anyway.
I guess the realistic thing is like if the latency is less than a frame at 60 FPS anyways, then it doesn't actually matter. So, yeah, you make a fair point.
Right.
It
Alright.
seemed good. It seemed good. I'll say that much. It seemed like it was less than like a frame or 2, which is like, you know, can add up, but a frame or 2 is like probably only like 30 milliseconds.
Hmm.
Glad we got it working though. It
I'm
was a
kinda
little scary
scrambled.
for a bit.
Like, our streams have been really intermittent this month because of traveling. But like, starting late for the past, like, every stream we've done for the past couple weeks and like everything else, I'm like, I'm really scrambled right now. Plus having everything be so scuffed, like not being able to just roll and do stream normally. I don't know, it's really tricky.
Well, I mean, hopefully, like, this stream was scuffed because you had to both set up and undo all of the things from the car stream. So, like, hopefully, you know, you're set up at this point.
No, I'm not.
No?
Just look set up, look at my chat. It's like shoved in the corner. Like, there's so much fucked up right now. I need to take like 2 days to sort it all out. Like, for one, you're on your normal setup and I'm on my laptop.
Pretty
so,
much.
Like, I just have to deal with this like technical debt that just keeps accumulating with everything we do whenever we're like mobile like this.
This is, thank you for 35 months.
Is this a UK/Japan car in which you're riding backwards or?
We touched on this earlier, Decius, but long story short, we had to flip the video feed because we didn't have a better option for doing so. So we just flipped the whole video feed. And the only thing that looked screwy as a result, given that we were in fact in the US, was the car.
You know, when Fizzy pitched this idea to me, basically we were like, I came out here and we were talking about going up to North Carolina to visit people, and maybe Fizzy brought up like the idea of doing a mobile stream, and I was like, I don't know, like, yeah, it'd be cool to finally do a mobile stream, but like I honestly don't know if I even care anymore, because like I wanted to do it and I tried and I tried to make stuff work, and like I just kind of gave up after a while, maybe. That like I kind of thought, one, that this was overkill, and two, that this was going to add so much complication that, like, you don't initially foresee that it was going to make it never actually happen. It would just push, like, doing a mobile stream, we never got around to doing it normally in the first place like I wanted to. So adding like 360 video and all this stuff on top of it, like, I didn't want it to be a scuffed mess. But like, hey, if it gets Fizzy interested so it actually happens with the two of us, then like, sure. I eventually took on that mindset, but I wanted to suggest, hey, you know, I know you want to like play with Godot and use this as an excuse to do this, but like, this is a really complicated way to go at it. What if we just mapped like a sort of like static overlay where it just kind of computes this on the fly, like we just pass the coordinates that we want. We could even use Godot as like a world model, pass the coordinates to it, and then it just selects the whatever, and that way we can get a higher resolution video from the camera, this, that, or the other. But that has its own complications. So we didn't end up doing that, and plus I wanted Fizzy to go with her idea and what she was excited to do. That said, there is an even simpler way to do this. Clearly, we just rent the Porsche Panamera
Oh, Jesus.
that's on Turo. And we just put the 360 camera in the car. And we just cosplay our VTubers. And then
That's so simple. Maybe for you, actually, that's fair.
we have, then we don't even need to run Godot at all. We just go directly from the phone to stream. It'll be like the lowest latency anyone has ever seen a VTuber. I don't even know if you could call that VTuber at that point. It'd be so realistic that it'd be like a real tuber. Wow, thanks Zabes for the 33 months. Yeah, something tells me Fizzy's not gonna go for it.
You remember how we didn't do satellite internet because it was going to be at least $500, if not $600?
Well, it was definitely gonna be at least $600.
Remember when we looked at renting or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, it was $700 to rent the Porsche.
Yes, it was so okay. Just now, I'll grant you, renting a Porsche would be kind of funny, but
Listen, I just want to get to drive a Porsche once in my life, and I no longer have a job that like makes that kind of money.
hi Faye, hi Raiders, welcome in.
Hi, Faye. Welcome in, Raiders. Zabes, what do you mean I no longer have a running or rolling race car? Did you sell it or did you crash it? Because I remember the WRX. There was so much going into it. What's the deal?
Oh. Welcome in, Winterborn, as well. How was your stream, Faye? We were talking about this stream that we did on Sunday that was very complicated, but in a way that was very fun. Hopefully, past where he flips around the camera. I think you did at some point here.
Yeah. So, well,
Where are we
s-
on the timeline?
let's see.
Oh, do you have to bring up the full view?
Yeah, I do.
You're definitely gonna rotate or pan the
Yeah,
camera
we'll
in a
pan it
second.
around again here in a bit in the video. But in the background of our VTubers, is our VTubers in a car from Sunday night stream when we tried this IRL dry with like 360-degree video and all this fancy shit we put together.
It's our VTubers in a 3D car in a 360 video of the actual world around the car.
Yeah. But chat, make sure you check out Fantasy Fig Cafe. They're very cool.
Another member of Eternal Wind, our stream team.
Yeah. Zabes, you've stripped everything out. Fab type begins. Wait. That means you still have a car. It's just in many pieces, right?
So, but yeah, the video that you're watching was, I guess to reiterate, a mobile stream, like over a cellular internet connection, live from the highway.
Yeah, basically. We put our VTubers in a model car and drove around live and showed what we were seeing. God.
Oh, you've not been? Oh, sorry, no worries. No worries.
Solo's good too. I don't keep up with things.
Yeah, no, we. This is probably embarrassing, but I don't remember the last time that I opened the Eternal Wind Discord. I should do that tonight. I'll do that tonight.
I peek in all my Discords regularly, but like I just kind of peek in because I've got like a million things to do. But I don't remember people based on like stream teams and stuff like that. In any case, you know, I just have the people that I meet. So like there are people in Eternal Wind that I don't know and people outside of Eternal Wind that I don't know, but then they just become the people that I know.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's an interesting topic anyway, but
Sure. Yeah.
but yeah, we always appreciate you coming over in any case.
Yeah.
And you're still a friend of the stream. It has no wheels or drivetrain currently. That's still a car, it's just in mini pieces. Pixar in Discord? Hell yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Sarah. I could have sworn it was a WRX, not an Evo, but I stand corrected. Just because the puzzle has 1,000 pieces doesn't make it any less of a puzzle.
True.
Fair.
Oh, yeah, this is why you were complaining to me because I was going around the corners.
Yeah, Fizzy like started driving more aggressively, and I'm just like, Fizzy, like, you know the camera is held on the roof with a suction cup, right?
I object. I wasn't driving more aggressively. I just didn't slow down for the turns, and it was the first time that we had actual turns.
Okay, but like, you can take turns smoothly, and whatever
You
you were
absolutely
doing
can.
was not that.
There we go. There's the 360 video.
I specifically asked you to like drive smoothly because of all the gear in the car.
No, I get it. I meant to.
Suction cups are good, but I don't need to tell her that, okay?
Jesus.
Then she'll have an excuse to drive more roughly.
I mean,
and I'm holding all the gear.
That's
and
sad
like
though.
we had like food and drinks in the car too, so like I really didn't want like
Oh.
what? Oh shit, this is where the camera died.
Yeah. No more camera stream.
Does Fizzy drive like a maniac? Absolutely.
No, I don't.
Yes, she
Howard.
does.
Yeah.
That's why I bought you a radar
believe
detector for
this.
your birthday last year, because I felt like you were gonna get a speeding ticket.
No, you bought it for me because radar is bad for your health. Yeah.
If I didn't think you'd get a speeding ticket on your own, I wouldn't have bought it for you in the first place, because one, they're expensive, and I could have got you something neat. And two,
You did get me something.
it would just
neat. You got me a radar
encourage you to
detector.
speed more. And I don't want to encourage you to speed more. either. Suction cups. Oh, I read that already. Depending on how you look at it, good or bad news, we only have 3 or more weeks of ad phase. I hope you succeed, Zara.
Hell yeah, Zara, I believe in you.
Fizzy believes in you. That's all you need.
Oh,
What?
how did the video play forward? Did you see that?
Probably something was stuck in the buffer.
Yeah, that was funny.
That's weird.
We get like 1 second of video from
My
beyond
God.
the grave. It was, you're probably right. It was probably the camera finally like timing out, and so it just like flushed it.
Oh, yeah. VTuber car stream is definitely unique. Thank you.
Thank you. It was as we talked about at length in the stream, to summarize, it was a challenge.
Yeah.
Something that we want to refine too.
I still think we should build a cell-shaded car. Like I
Sure.
talked about that.
That
a
would
little
take me
bit,
like a couple hours at most.
but
that's
like
something we
making
can
the
do.
car cell-shaded would be great.
I mean, we can do literally whatever we want. So
We can
it's
make
just
it.
a matter of time.
We can make
and
it
money
Anitasha.
in some cases. Jesus, I mean that's true.
We could put anime slaps on it. Can make it lore accurate.
The passage of time I would guess. Wait, what do you mean this is?
Well, the passage of time is why things move.
Oh, true. I guess you could rewind it since like at this point in the stream there was nothing that happened.
I'll replay the end here again since that's the most interesting bit. But so Fizzy is trying to go gas, gas, gas in the middle of the night, or was she running in the 90s? If you're a fan of Eurobeat, you'll get that. Otherwise, nobody will understand.
Well, and then Zara followed up with, I'm guessing she has feelings of deja vu going fast.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Send Fizzy to autocross to learn to drive smooth. It's gonna take a lot of autocross session saves.
Jesus.
Plus, I don't think it would help. I think it'd just make it worse.
Wow.
It would be really funny though because she would absolutely roll her car.
Jesus.
This is killing my love for this stream. Jesus, Sarah. God, I would love to see you do an autocross, Fizzy.
Alright.
Something for the list, for sure.
Oh, that was lightning. Oh man, I love the capturing of lightning in this.
Yeah.
Also, I hated my model. I think it was the adapter we were using. The like lightning adapter that we had in the car with us was bunk, and my tracking would break every 30 seconds, and I just had to keep unplugging it and plugging it back in. And I'm driving, and that was miserable. And I wanted to like underscore that and cry about it, and now I have. Little flashes of lightning are so cool.
Could I have a cone kill counter? Yes, we could.
Oh my god.
I stopped doing autocross though, primarily because it's too hot. It's only done when it's warm enough outside, which means it's only going to be really hot for autocross, and you're standing out there on like a parking lot or a runway. There's no shade anywhere nearby. There's no way to cool off. So like I just overheat, especially if I have to be like chasing cones, and I'm pretty sure like every place you might do an autocross with is going to require you to volunteer in some fashion, and they're gonna want to put you out there chasing cones unless you're like really a big contributor to the club.
If you get pulled over, what do you tell them? We were VTubing and driving. First of all, the cop would have been treated to like the incredible nightmare of wires and equipment that we had hooked up and like running throughout the entire like front section of the car.
Yeah, I don't. If we got pulled over, I probably would have killed the stream.
Yeah, realistically.
I feel like that's where you get like banned from Twitch. It's like you break a rule in a game, then you get banned. Like, you know?
Jesus. But the content, Rory.
Oh no, but the content.
VTuber gets arrested live on stream. Hopefully not arrested.
Well, I guess I'll be driving from here.
Jesus.
Just get busy a car that can't go over 65. One of those K trucks from Japan. The thing is, she already has a car that can do more than 65.
I think Varsity's proposing you take it away. God, the streamer that ran a red light. Yeah, that was something. I remember that.
Wait, who?
I think we talked about the clip of it that like made the rounds.
Probably. I forgot.
VTubing without a license.
Oh no.
I object. I have a license.
Listen, Missy, do you have a license for those models you're sporting? Those are some weapons of mass distraction you've got there.
Jesus.
But yeah, assuming I'm thinking of the right clip, I feel like there's definitely like popular bias in that like some people get away with these things because they're big enough that they can get their channel reinstated, whereas anybody else, there's no harm in a platform just outright permabanning them.
I don't know.
I do.
I think like
How many times have you seen somebody online who's lost their platform for a stupid reason
I mean, that's
and like
fair.
they get ignored by the platform when they try to get it back, and it's completely like unjustified? So now think about when they have a justifiable reason. Good luck getting your platform back.
Fair.
Like, yeah, sometimes it's worth the gamble because like if you go viral or you get notoriety out of doing whatever it is, sure, you could say that's justification enough to like risk it. But I don't think this is gonna do any of that. I don't think we're quite like it's not gonna be viral VTuber content here. We're
Hard to
here in
say.
like the
You
whole.
never know until you know. That's the thing about viral stuff is I feel like it's not predictable.
I think there's a little bit of prediction to it.
That's fair.
As a VTuber, probably a dozen for the channel. Depends on how big your tits are and how much they fall out. What?
Stream the ban appeal on YouTube. True. I do predictable things like death and taxes. Wait, do you mean like the game Death and Taxes? Because like it's a pretty fun game.
We all die sometimes, but we don't all do our taxes. Busy hires H&R Block.
There's a game.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean it's named after the famous like phrase, of course. It's cute.
Here, I thought I was just giving the government money.
Yeah, that part's still true. Sorry.
You'll pay taxes forever, Varsity? Probably. Fizzy, you look so disheartened.
What? I'm hanging out.
What did I say like a minute ago? It was like I was probably criticizing something, and then I stuck another sour gummy in my mouth.
Hell yeah, we love sour gummies. The immortal shall be taxed. I hope so.
You gotta tax immortality itself.
We gotta tax the. Well, there's nothing new there.
Tax the rich.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyways, God, there's so many things we could do redeems for this.
Like what?
Camera angles.
We've said that like 10 times now. We gotta get fresh.
Vehicles.
What
Because
if-
like we get more vehicle models, and if we baked the camera positions into the vehicles, like we could switch them on the fly.
I don't think anybody actually cares what kind of vehicle representation we have in here, but sure.
I think people might care a little bit.
We gotta make the vehicle like look better.
Yeah, I think that's very doable. It's just a matter of like it taking time, because this model obviously was not like optimized for Godot, and I did the bare minimum to get it functioning in the engine. So it's just a matter of like spending more. You both scanned me out of point redeems. I feel like I refunded you. No, I didn't refund you. I made it work. That's what I did.
Hot pink Barbie car. Reliant Rob. Okay, I stand corrected. Chat does want their own models, but they have to be good. They have to be meme worthy.
No swerving redeems. I think that falls under the category of like self-harm redeems.
Yeah, I don't think that's Twitch TOS safe. We went to great lengths to make sure this is TOS friendly.
Yep.
Oh,
This car looks like it came from a 90s animated commercial. Yeah, yes, correct. But with like an hour's worth of material tweaking, I could get it looking correct. Drive-through routine. That would be expensive. Real talk, like well,
If
I
you
don't
give
know
us
how much.
money, we'll do anything.
There you go. I don't know how much we want to talk about, like the stuff we talked about doing soon, or if you want to just leave that to be a surprise for when we do it.
So I have actually outlined. This is the first time I've done. I've like pre-gamed. We never plan. We never plan, and we never prep. That's the motto here. Scuff is the virtue we live by. But I did go in advance and be like, there's a couple things I want to make sure we don't disclose. And that said, I forgot where I was going with this. We'll do anything for money.
Well, I was just talking about like plans for like if we want to do this again
yeah,
and that
yeah.
kind of thing. But
I kind of want to keep it a surprise, but
All
I'm
right.
not opposed to like just giving the gist of what we want to do if you wanted to share.
yeah, I mean, like we I don't know. I think that the sort of the current thing on the table is maybe drive into somewhere beachy. I'll just leave it at that. I don't know.
Yeah, take
We
chat.
could do drive-throughs and stuff too. That would be fun. I would like to do a little more silly stuff in addition to just driving, obviously.
Take chat somewhere where there's more to see. Kind of, you know, do it again. but
During the day, especially.
with the kinks worked out.
Right.
Do anything for money. Drive to the nearest In-N-Out and back. That we can absolutely do, just with the right amount of money.
That's like multiple thousands of dollars, I think. I think that's the territory we're entering with gas.
So how much money would it be if you lost a week of wages, Fizzy? Baltimore. Driving through Baltimore, we're gonna have to put some armor on the vehicle. I know
Jesus.
Volvo has like an armored cars division. You can get an armored XC, like a Volvo XC90. You can get it armored from Volvo, and it won't look any different from a regular Volvo XC90.
Nice.
When you work with government, you learn these things.
What was the hardware rig? 2 cell phones for tracking, a laptop, a network switch, a battery, the X5 360 camera, an iPad.
Network switch, yeah,
Yeah, all of the devices. So the iPad and everything was Etherneted together in the car.
That's just a normal XC90 fair.
Jesus. There was like how many 5 Ethernet cords running to devices in the car plus power plus.
Yeah, I was thinking we would absolutely need to make this run across both Fizzy and my gaming laptop. Like I was very much not. I thought we were gonna hit the encoder limit because we'd have to like manipulate the video and re-encode it and send it into another application and re-encode this, that, and the other. Like, because we had to get the VTuber models composited together, put them in the Go, and put the video feed, and then reformat that into something Godot could handle, and then get that out of Godot and stream it to the relay server, blah, blah, blah. So, like, I figured we'd have like 6 NVIDIA encoders running on one machine, and that would just be too many because a consumer graphics card from NVIDIA has like a 5 encoder limit or something like that. So I figured we'd have to have both laptops in the car, but that I quickly realized when we started actually piecing out how we're gonna lay it out, wouldn't work. There's not room for it, and there's not enough electricity in that car for it. And even if we could draw that much power from the car, I wouldn't want to risk it because I don't know how big the alternator is. Like, I read online that it has a 100 amp alternator, but really have no idea how much of that we can really play with before we start risking the alternator itself or the car battery, because these things are all fairly fine-tuned to the to what they're used for. It's like sizing an air conditioner for a house. Like, the alternator is too small, then it's not going to perform well, and it's gonna constantly be like, you know, the weather gets hot, the alternator gets too hot, it dies.
God, the cloud out of the
and you
moon
have to
roof.
replace it. Yeah,
That's cool.
it is cool. But on the flip side, if the alternator is way too big for the car, then it's just inefficient. Sent a link for how people live stream with data overlays. Should be able to adapt that for OBS. Thank you. I'll take a look.
I think I never thought we were gonna have 2 laptops in the car. But
You
I
never
will
thought?
say, no. But I didn't really think about how we were gonna get around the VNet limitation. However, I will say, Sprout is magic, and I think I know how it works under the hood. But okay, the 30-second technical version that is my best guess of what it's doing. I think it's running a background application, right? Like a service or something in Windows. And it's allocating VRAM and then using like that background application to own the VRAM or something, and then just using that to pipe it between applications. So there's no actual encoding that happens. It's just all reading it out of memory, basically.
Oh yeah, no, I believe it, because the performance
It's
overhead
nutty.
for
It's crazy.
is so insanely low.
Yeah.
It's
very
It has
impressive.
to be reusing the memory space or something like that, because it doesn't make any sense.
It's very cool. I'll say that much.
It is a pain in the ass to use, though. So
We did
like,
run into a couple issues with it. But like I think that was mostly because of the Godot plugin side being half-baked. It's like a naive implementation of it, which is annoying.
I don't understand why why you can't take Spout into something and then take it back out.
You can.
As I demonstrated when we were testing for this, you in fact cannot,
Oh, I blame.
because it will.
That was
like,
because
loop
of that
and
application.
corrupt. That was because of that application, you think?
Yeah, because we were literally doing that in OBS. OBS was taking Sprout inputs.
Spout.
No, it's Sprout.
Is it?
It's Sprout. Yeah, because you're getting confused because I named all of the inputs Spout because I was confused, and then now it's infected you. So I take full responsibility for this.
Okay.
But we took OBS, we took the Sprout inputs
I
from
think-
both VTube Studios, and then we combined them and Sprout outputted it.
I think that's because OBS manipulates it, though. So it's like rasterizing it, basically.
Yeah, but like it also we didn't lose alpha or anything. I really think it is just the application that you're thinking of was doing something silly under the hood
I
in the
don't
same way that the
think
Godot application does.
So, because OBS can track alpha.
Right.
Oh well.
I don't know.
Oh, no, it didn't work in OBS either.
Wait, what do you mean?
I threw that away because it didn't work. I switched to game capture.
No, but I'm talking about to get our VTubers into the car.
To get our VTubers into the car.
Ow. Hi, Ritter. Welcome in.
We did not re-output Spout, though.
Yeah, we did.
No,
we had to use Sprout to get it into the car.
Okay. Once again. VTubers are going into the car using game capture. I can pull it up right now.
Go for it. 100%. We used a Sprout filter on the VTube scene. The VTuber scene.
Okay, chat, don't mind me. Because I'm checking this scene.
How would we get game capture into Godot?
This is game capture right here. Look at that. You see the icon in OBS? These are the VTubers.
Oh, did we end up switching them over to game capture?
Yes, we had to because it wasn't working.
Oh, it wasn't. No, that sounds right. But like, I can't remember why it wasn't working.
It wasn't working because it just would display a white void, which was because Sprout would do weird things.
I guess. I don't know. It was super strange.
Wasn't the Cybertruck supposed to be armored?
Oh, wow.
That was the biggest, like, internet meme of the day. God, I still remember when they fucking, like, did their, like, press conference, and they're like, look, we're gonna hit it with a sledgehammer, and the glass is not gonna break, and then the glass broke.
It was a classic.
And then people still bought it.
I remember at that point, I wasn't so disillusioned about the thing. So I was willing to laugh along with.
I was a little disillusioned at that point, but like, it was definitely the Simpsons like episode where you fucking made the like shitty car. Could probably bend a panel if I pull hard enough. Yeah.
Fair. I mean, it's not a good vehicle.
No.
Anyways. Well, I guess more importantly, it's not a good vehicle that represents things that are even worse. So, such is life. Hi.
Hi.
The outline's changing. Oh, we have past video footage in the background, sorry.
Oh, yeah. So, if I move our models down on my screen here for a second, you can see we're talking about Sunday's stream. So Sunday's stream is playing in the background, and we're just kind of showing off what we did with this like interesting little project of ours to do a live stream where we like live streamed our drive, but we put our VTubers in a virtual car and made a 360-degree environment from the video that we were capturing, rather than just do like a fixed angle. Because, you know, we could make it look like our VTubers are in a car with a fixed angle, but yeah. Now, here's the thing, Fizzy, and you're gonna hate this, because you talked about doing bookmarks, like camera position, like different fixed camera positions we could implement. And a lot of camera positions only really fare well with one angle, like looking from the back, really looking forward is the way to go, at least in most vehicles. And at the front, if you want us in it, looking back is kind of the way to go. And then obviously like outside, maybe a front or back. But you could accomplish that with just a couple cameras as well, and not have any complication whatsoever. Just set everything up static with 4 cameras in 4 different positions.
Technically true, but imagine how much of a pain in the ass that would be to set up and wire and everything else.
I have actually considered this before.
That's fair.
You just have your cameras output HDMI and put them onto the network with like NDI or something like that. Or you're gonna hate this. RTMP.
Wow.
You can have
I mean,
4
like,
GoPros and just RTMP them all to your.
no, you
OBS.
could. I guess was the other problem too is like, I don't know. It's neat. The specific things that we can do are very cool. Like with this setup.
It is cool that we can like look around. We do have to be careful, and I do want to like fine tune that a bit because I felt like I was like moving around too much is definitely disorienting. So I want to be
Fair.
careful about that. But it is kind of funny that like we did all this, and then like if we come back to doing like static views, it would be really funny if it's no different than just having a couple cameras set up. Because I usually bring some stuff on trips like these. So I have a GoPro Hero 9, and I have like a Sony action camera as well. I don't remember the Sony's, but the Sony's timeless, and they both have HDMI output. I have an HDMI capture card with me. I have enough equipment traveling with me that I could at least get 2 video feeds in, and given that I have an iPhone and 2 iPads, I could probably use the iPads for 2 more cameras and run a RTMP directly from them. So I think I could do 4 video positions. I just don't have a way to mount the iPads.
God, that would be a pain in the ass though.
I mean, you say this, but you know what is a pain in the ass?
What?
This.
Well, the X5 is a solved problem for us.
No, it's not. This stream setup, like, I'm not saying that I think we should do static, because it's just not as fun of a concept. I'm just saying that, like, we need to justify it, because you're like, oh, that sounds miserable, but it sounds easier to me, and I'm the one who spent like 30 hours working on all the technical like back-end stuff. You just did like the Godot thing in like a couple hours, and like,
Oh, okay.
damn, what?
Nothing.
I mean, I'm just saying, don't underestimate the amount of work that I put in.
Okay, you don't have to minimize.
Minimize.
Whatever, that's fine.
You have to justify going the like odd way out. That's what I'm saying. We gotta like keep that in mind as we go forward.
I think the other thing too is that like we don't have to worry about accidentally doxing ourselves this way, because if we don't have cameras inside the car, that's ideal.
I'm not saying literally put a camera in the car.
Okay.
Like a forward-facing camera, a rear-facing camera would accomplish the same thing as the X5 here in 2 different ways.
I get you. I mean, we could offer like side cameras and stuff though. Like that's the thing is like we don't have any limitations with what we can do.
I know, it's novel that we can like pan around and look and like follow something as we go by it, but like, is it good or is it just a gimmick? But I think a lot of YouTubers are trying to answer that question as like, they're all getting paid to market the Insta360 X5 right now.
Well, I think the real thing is that like I mean, part of it is that we need to figure out how to make it interesting too, like as the hosts, because you're right that like technology being interesting is a gimmick if it doesn't actually confer any like thing beyond novelty. Novelty
Right.
is not in and of itself interesting for more than a few minutes. So,
Technology enables things. So like having more technology can definitely enable you to do things you weren't otherwise able to do, but like what I'm saying is like what really does the X5 allow us to do that like we couldn't do otherwise.
I think the main thing is just panning around.
Well, it's more something to think about more, and maybe we can incorporate that when we're planning on what to do with this in the future.
True.
That said, I also want higher quality than this.
I think just going to daytime will make a big difference, but if we can up the quality in the video feed on top of that, that would be awesome.
Maybe it's worth doing some testing offline for once.
We're gonna have to, yeah. It will survive an RV being driven off a cliff. Wait, what will? Sorry.
Zabes is saying 360 outside with static cams inside, best of both. It will survive an RV being driven off a cliff, FYI. AKA if you watch the YouTube channel, is it like Matt does stuff? I forget.
Permanent Snapchat dog face filter isn't viable. I would love, there is like somebody made like an AR thing for VTuber like face tracking, but it's just not, I don't think it's like trustworthy enough for live stuff, basically, is kind of the way I look at it.
Oh yeah. There are ways you can like live capture. Like we could certainly use like webcams pointed at us and just have like the computer both use us for like motion capture, but also overlay models over us, 3D, or we could do some sort of scuffed 2D, but yeah, we don't trust that to like mask us out. Because if it fails, then we dox ourselves. I'm not necessarily opposed to going on camera, but like...
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about it too, but like at the same time.
Right now, I prefer to just... Anything live, I'd just rather do it with a VTuber.
I guess the other thing too is like, if I'm honest, this stream was at like, what, 1 a.m.?
Mm-hmm.
And we woke up at like 10. So
Yeah.
like we'd already been doing a lot of stuff, that thing, blah, 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 blah. Anyways.
Right. No,
yeah.
that's part of the reason why I don't like to fucking send it live, because like I look like shit after being awake for 12 hours, let alone
Well, I'm driving for like 8 of them or something or whatever. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Green suits then. There are things that I want to do where it's like almost impossible to not do it without being in the frame. But I haven't quite figured out how to address that. But part of the problem with that sort of thing is like if you cover your face, you can't get facial tracking.
Right.
Which kind of sucks.
Right.
So food for thought. If you come up with a solution to that, let me know. But yeah, super fast, Matt. Thank you. That guy drove an actual RV off a cliff and like put a bunch of cameras in it to capture it. And I think maybe he had an Insta360 in there as well, and they paid him like it was like a product placement.
Nice.
Sponsored video, but like basically he had an RV that was shit, and he's like, well, this is one way to send it before I build a new one.
No, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I need that funding that he's got access to. I just need to get in on a startup at the ground floor. Just gotta start my own startup.
Fair. Look at that moon. Neat.
Speaking of starting things up, I need to find a copy of Project Cars 2. like it's startup racing games again. Wasn't that the name of the game?
Yeah.
Project Cars 2?
Yeah, it's a shame that it's like not on Steam. Licensing is stupid.
You have to give context for these things. You can't just be, it's a shame that this is, like, you have to establish the context for chat.
Okay, well, you're the one who just brought it up.
Yeah, I was getting
okay,
to it,
all right,
dumbass.
go for it.
Oh my god. Well, now it's whatever. The bit is gone. Oh, I'll just fucking play Forza Horizon. But yeah, they took Project Cars 2 off Steam because now Project Cars 3 is out. Like, nobody likes Project Cars 3. Apparently it's garbage. So like, I just wanted to buy 2, but they've deleted it because they didn't want to continue paying for a license for all the cars in it, I guess.
It's really dumb.
So, yeah, I don't know how to play it now. And I don't want to play do you get a virus from trying to play it in this way or the other way, so I'm just not going to play it. And personally, like Forza Horizons is fine. Now that I know Forza Motorsport's discontinued, I'm not exactly eager to buy another copy of that. And Assetto Corsa, is that the other one?
Yeah.
I had a copy of that back in the day. I wasn't exactly impressed. It was just boring in the level of sim it gave. Like, if you're like really, really into it, then like great, but like it has to be a little fun to play with your friends. And then iRacing also just seems way too pedantic. Like, I don't want to build like a whole like rig setup.
We're driving the Pacific Highway. Yes, hi Jade. How's it going? Yeah, that's a fun track in that game for sure. Especially in
which game?
VR. Project Cars 2.
Oh.
Florida sign.
I wasn't sure if Jade was talking about like IRL or
Oh Jesus, yeah, fair.
because I've driven an IRL, but of course I've never played Project Cars 2. Like, it's just been on my list, and I figured eventually I'll get around to it. And then I never would have expected they just fucking delete it.
I love the. God, it's just so neat.
The stream,
Yeah.
like going outside is novel. I understand.
Jesus
but, like,
Christ. Well, no, just like passing the welcome to Florida sign. Everything is cool.
we could go past it right now. It's like it's outside. It's 3 hours away, but like
I'd rather not drive 3 hours just to look at the welcome to Florida sign.
I actually have no idea how far it is away. Like, I just
I
I have no idea where I am
think
right
that's
now.
ballpark. I don't know.
Ballpark? Okay. Can we
I'm
get
not
some
sure.
cookout then? Like, how much further to cook out?
Probably not that much farther.
No.
The stream is really quiet. Oh, is it? Mine is? Interesting.
Hello.
I'll look into that later. But thank you for letting me know. I'm sorry.
Does this mean if I whisper, Jade can't hear me?
Jesus.
You could run into Max. Who's Max? Oh wait, Maximilian? Al? In iRacing or on the Pacific Coast Highway?
Jesus. Probably iRacing. Oh, Max Verstappen.
Wait, who's that? Should
Isn't
I
that
know
the
this?
Formula One guy? I think.
Oh, right. Yeah, some of those Formula One guys are like young now and they actually play video games rather than like the fucking like back when Gran Turismo was like, hey, do you guys want to become like real racers, and did like a thing. And then they made a movie about that, and like I think it's even worse. Like I would watch it, I just never bothered.
There.
God, I like motorsport and cars and vehicles and stuff like that a lot. The problem I have with the whole, like with all of it is it's like, it's, you have to be like in a position of being able to do it. I guess like there's the aspect of enjoying what you can do with it, but like, I don't know. I am choosing my words carefully, or trying to, and failing, but it's just not. The community is not the best, and that dissuades me from doing more vehicular related activities. And like, I've definitely been like scaling back from it because it's like, no matter how much money and time I pour into the hobby, what I get out of it is just more of like, oh, that's cool, I guess, but have you seen this? Which so and so did with more money, or well, more colorful responses, and it's just like, I don't know, it's tricky. It's definitely one of the more privileged hobbies. That said, I'll always like it, but
Hell yeah.
I have to like find other things to enjoy and partake in, or like I'll go broke.
Fair.
He did a Nürburgring 12 hours during an F1 weekend.
Nice. Hell yeah.
You know, Fizzy,
That's fantastic.
there are real stakes when it comes to like motorsport, right? Like,
Absolutely.
it's not just a video game. So like,
But I mean, also, hell yeah.
it's very funny, but I feel like that's kind of insane. Like, I would want to be well rested if I'm gonna do an F1 weekend or whatever I could
Fair.
actually do. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like talking to people who don't understand.
Maybe. Take a screenshot.
You're one of the people I'm talking to. Don't just say maybe.
Sure, then sure.
Never mind. I'm just gonna fucking.
Just take a screenshot of the welcome to Florida sign from Google Street Maps view. I mean, we don't have to. We took it live from the stream.
Omar, that's a really good point. And that kind of goes back to like what I was saying earlier in a different way. Like, so like we put the vehicle here and like we put our models in it because like we're driving in a car IRL. And at first we were trying to match the car to match like what we were doing as like, we were just trying to simulate as much as we didn't want to like actually show, and then like show the rest for real. So we have the world for like for real. But would it be any different if Google Maps were so smooth that we could just drive through it like this? Like, what if we just...
But it's not.
I'm just saying, like, at what point would improvements to the setup be indistinguishable from just driving through Google Maps in a more polished way? Like, hey, chat, let's go explore a city together. Like, is there a way to like...
Well, I mean, I got one for you.
Like,
Well, I mean, I've got
Flight Simulator.
Sure.
2020 and 2024 or whatever. It like uses satellite imagery to make the world more realistic, and then it does like fancy computer shit to like apply 3D and do this, that, and the other. So you can like fly around, and like depending on how good they make it look, it would be indistinguishable from doing a flying stream. Like, especially if you're a VTuber and you don't want to show yourself or interior of the plane. Because, like, if you show, like, the cockpit and you're flying the plane, the FAA is going to give you a call, potentially, you know, if you're not being responsible. And if you don't want to dox yourself. So, if you're representing the plane with a 3D model and yourself with a model, if the outside world is indistinguishable from what you could do with a video game, then like, what's the difference between us doing this IRL and us doing it.
I think it's the fact that we're doing it because, like, yeah, I mean, you don't even have to go to that length. We have the Insta360, and it has pretty good battery life. We could go film a, like, 300 gig recording or whatever, 200 gig recording of us just driving down the highway for 6 hours, and then we could use this, or driving through a city even, and then just do the VTubers in the car afterwards, and it would be, if anything, it'd be higher quality, but it wouldn't be live, and I think that loses something. Like, I think that is part of the appeal of the silliness of this.
Well, if we recorded it, we would know what we're gonna see. So it'd be like reacting to something that we've already watched.
Well, sure, but I think the concept still applies. Because there's not going to be any, like, dynamic elements in, like, a flight simulator or something, right?
You can have dynamic elements in a flight simulator for sure. And you're still doing it live. It's just the environment isn't necessarily completely live. But like weather is generated in flight simulator real time. Google Maps, of course, doesn't have weather. So if we have weather, that is one thing. So that's one point to doing IRL. But like the rest, like you say, like capturing video and bringing it back.
I don't know. There's so much going on around, and like even on the highway in the middle of the night, like there's stuff to look at sometimes.
Well, like I think you could say that being a part of it adds something to the equation.
Yeah.
But like if we put on VR headsets, like we could convince ourselves that we're in this environment, and if we weren't the one to capture it and we're just sitting here in VR, we could like imagine that like it, and I think the outcome would be the same for the viewers. So like it's like, especially if we weren't the ones to do the capture, so we're seeing this for the first time. But if we are making the decision, so we're like, hey chat, you want to go look at this thing and go do that, then that's where it starts to diverge.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we can do, especially like if that's the downside of freeway driving, is we're just driving on the freeway. But if we're in a city or something, we can do a lot more interesting stuff for sure.
Right. So like I'm saying this because I think that has to influence where we take this, because we have to do stuff that like somebody at home can't just go replicate. Like if we want to have an adventure, we want chat to feel that adventure and not just feel like this is just like a live studio audience.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very good point. I think that's something we can keep in mind when we go into the next, iteration of this.
We want to convince chat, or at least I think, that doing this should make chat want to go out and touch grass for themselves.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
But I'm with you on the interactivity, because we didn't, like, there wasn't, especially because this is our first iteration, but like interactivity can go beyond redeems for sure. So
you couldn't pay me to touch more grass, sorry.
Jesus Christ, yes he is. Cheering off screen, Fizzy Games was recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Zara, you get a pass because you work hard. I think in that regard, like, part of the stream last time felt really boring to me, even as we were doing it. Like, at first it was really exciting because I was like, wow, this is a really novel concept. But like, after like 30 minutes to an hour of like driving through the black, I'm like,
The fact that we were driving just through the void was definitely not ideal.
Like, I was tired, and I've been scrambled so much over the past couple weeks. But I think there are some things we could do to make it a little bit easier, because for one, you were like, hey, do this, and chat was excited at first too, and I wanted to capture that excitement and roll with it rather than just ignore chat and do the things that you were like, hey, can you do this or do that? But also I wanted to get through the technical, like showing chat the things that like we're here to present and talk about, And then also there was actual like technical like debt that like
We had
because it was
technical
scuffed,
difficulties. Yeah.
we had to work through. So that was like 4 things we were trying to do at the same time, but
Right.
most of them were not like adding anything to stream itself. And one of the big things that started there and kind of continues is that I have to like normally I read everything chat says, or at least most of it, if I can. Depends on how fast chat goes, I guess. Sometimes I just get streamer blind, but whatever. But I don't always read everything out loud. Like, I generally do when I can, because I feel like it's interactive, but, like, not everything. But I want you to be able to participate without compromise, considering you're driving or vice versa, so I want to read everything for your sake. But it's really
Right.
boring to just read verbatim and to give context, like if I want to mention who said it.
Yeah, it's hard.
I can make it more streamlined, but I think doing things like putting text to speech at play so that it can go in one ear and potentially go out, you know, in one ear out the other necessarily if we want to talk over it. And fine tuning that. Maybe not even have text to speech play the stream, but to have text to speech for the driver on just like their
Yeah.
left channel and not
No,
their
okay.
right channel or something like that.
We can do stuff like that for sure.
That's tricky though, because for one, I was hoping to do. I guess we could use the Focusrite for that too, but I don't know if I'd be able to separate that out and not have stream hear it. But that might not be the worst thing in the world,
Right.
because
Agree.
the idea there would be that text to speech is low volume, and that it's just there for the sake of like the driver can be included in everything and they're not missing out when it's happening. Because like the passenger can always then read chat when they can pay attention to it, but like having the like stream of like chat going by can at least be verbalized in one ear quietly, so that like if they pick up on something they can send it.
Yeah. I regret not having the glass be completely transparent on the car model. It's like 90% transparent, but like the fact that the video feed looks better when you take it out of the car is annoying. Maybe it'd be less bad during the day. I'll work on that later.
It's not blurring it though, is it?
It's not blurring it, it's just making it like a shade grayer.
It's just losing a little contrast. Like,
Effectively, yeah. My grass touching is unparalleled. I play Mahjong in person. Hey yo, hell yeah. Is there grass tile in Mahjong? I wouldn't be surprised.
like the symbol, the kanji, what something, I don't know. I'm sure that's a. I imagine there's a good chance that's represented in Mahjong somehow. I don't know. I don't know Mahjong.
Likewise.
If it wasn't shut down, I'd just recommend streaming The Crew. That game has made the entire contiguous United States as a world map. They shut it down?
Yeah, that was I think one of the big kind of like
Things that
posters
spawned on
for the stop killing
movement.
game stuff, yeah.
Wow.
There's bamboo, close enough.
Yeah, bamboo works. You know.
Oh
it's
yeah, the
very
strobing
funny.
creepy flash or yeah, let's go.
What is with Florida and having streetlights that when we approach them they start to fail?
I don't know, it's great though.
That reminds me, we need to like go like do astrophotography one night.
And we talked about it.
Yeah.
There's our next Insta360 stream.
No, I'll kill you. We're not fucking streaming that. Don't make more things I want to do into a fucking stream.
What?
I'll leave you out there to die.
Okay, cool. This joke
Don't
is
be
super hard to-
sarcastic with me. You'll like, let's have date night. Okay, let's make it a stream. No, I'll fucking.
It's a joke because it's super hard to play in person. Oh, right, like actual like mahjong tables. Yeah, okay, no, that's fair.
Florida roads are just cursed. They absolutely are.
They are. Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
I think they're second only to South Carolina in shittiness. South Carolina has the worst roads I've ever driven on. And I think I've driven in like at least half the United States at this point. And like 3 countries. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, any final thoughts?
No, I mean, I look forward to playing around with this more, seeing what limits we can reach with that, because we're definitely not reaching the limit of what we can do with this. I think that's my kind of closing thought.
Heard the Dakotas are really bad. I was gonna drive through South Dakota at one point, but I had a detour because it was the winter and there was a snowstorm.
No, scary.
But yeah, as far as like what to do with this sort of like technology, like I know it's
That was my Windows noise. Sorry, chat.
I want to get like, or like, I want to keep messing with it, but I also don't want to like completely fixate on it. It's just hard to like, to work on something and like constantly change gears. I don't know, it's tricky. Cause like I want to like do more with this, but also I don't want to like be like, hey, look, it's this one thing all the time for a couple months and then like move on to the next thing. Granted, we don't have the ability to work on this for a couple months.
I was gonna say I would love to do this like once a week because I think it's something novel and interesting, and I think it could, I think it could spark a lot of interest. I just the hard part is that we obviously have physical constraints beyond the ones in the car that we're gonna have to contend with. So
I would not want to do this every week because, for example, driving like really far away, so you don't, I don't know, like I could be convinced to do stuff in the city where I live, but like,
yeah, well, no, that's a good point. I feel like I don't mind doing things as long as they're not like I've talked about the general area in which I live, right? I haven't been anywhere near specific, but, and I feel like I would be just as okay with like showing this of things that are vaguely close. I would rather do things like, I guess since I'm in Florida, like relative to me, like Cocoa or Tampa or, Miami or something. I mean, Miami is a bit of a stretch because it's really far, but like, I would rather do other cities, but I could be convinced to do the things close to me.
I think part of the problem with that is like, driving through a city once is interesting, but like
Making it continue to be interesting is difficult. Yeah, that's fair.
none of those cities except maybe Tampa have scenic views. Like you might be right by the ocean, but you can't see it from the car. Like,
True.
I thought Miami, or not Miami. Well, I thought Miami would look cool to drive through.
The part that we didn't do.
No, I don't know where in Miami might look cool, but like,
Not there. Yeah.
I thought the Keys would, but it was like, okay, here's a long beach that's kind of, or a long bridge, but that's kind of novel. Think of the hydrate. Nature is overrated, to be honest. I disagree. I know that's a joke, but
Yeah, I don't know. It's
but we're going outside. You know, we're trying to do IRL stuff. So it's tricky.
Yep, for sure.
But yeah, weekly. I couldn't see myself doing this weekly just because the gas cost alone, you know?
That's fair.
I wasn't really joking. I would legitimately be uninterested if someone said, want to go to the Grand Canyon. I understand that because it's like on the surface, and even when you do it sometimes, it's like, wow, it's a big hole in the ground. Like, I've thought about this because I've thought about going to the Grand Canyon multiple times. It's far away. When I went to FanFest, I had the actual chance to do it, but it was a big detour, so it still wasn't a big enough draw. But I think there's also value in like actually going there and doing it because you don't realize just how big it is until you see it in person or in VR, which I guess means you don't have to go there anymore maybe, but
I don't know. There's still no substitute, I feel like, for seeing things in person. The VR is cool though.
if we could capture some of the like VR aspect, that would be cool. Like if we could give chat, like if we could stream in 360 and give chat the ability to look around,
That'd be great.
that would be cool. Because when I first looked into VR, I was like, that ability to look around and not just be immersed, but like sort of get a feel for the place rather than just a composition. Because when you take a picture, you're like creating a composition that just shows and tells one thing. You have a focal point. But when you have a 360 image, you can get a feel for the place and how things fit into it and all this. It's like a different layer. It's even if it's a 2D 360 degree image, like you're conveying more dimension.
If we could figure out there's a technical aspect to this that would suck. And I'm mostly referring to bandwidth. But YouTube actually supports streaming in 360, and I see no reason why I couldn't get a 360 video out of Godot. I just would need to figure out the format, and I need to figure out this and that, and stitching, and like it would be a project unto itself, but it would be 100% possible. And I think with some work, you could even make a Twitch extension to do it, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, no, you'd have to make the like Chrome client side and like every browser.
But at least YouTube works. Like YouTube has this already built in.
Yeah, no, I forgot. I guess we like mentioned that in like passing when we were thinking about all this, the fact that YouTube can do that. Food for thought. In any case, that sounds like an ordeal, but something to try maybe. Not that like it might not be anything but novel.
I guess part of it too, you're making these environments in Godot? Yeah, so we got a 3D model. Oh god, we need to put the... We'll figure that out for the next stream. But yes, everything you're seeing from that stream is game capture from Godot. Literally all of it.
Yeah.
Basically just a distorted video. Well, it's actually equirectangular. Yeah, effectively. It's a very specific projection of video.
Were you gonna talk about the whole going to a place in real life versus like just looking at it? Like, did you have a point you're gonna...
Oh, I just feel like there's so much that you can't get right now out of even VR. I feel like even with stereoscopic vision, like, I don't know, there's something to be said for seeing things in person?
I'm trying to think of, like, I agree, but I'm trying to think of what made me make that leap, because I used to sort of think of this as like, why would I want to go, especially when I have so much trouble with it? Like, there's plenty of people who don't have trouble exerting themselves and doing a lot, but like, I overheat really easily, I get sick really easily, I just can't handle a lot physically. Like, I can't be on my feet for long periods of time, this, that, and the other. Like, I struggle with events and used to have to really pace myself, and it was just kind of disheartening to just try really hard to be able to go to an anime convention and do cosplay and do the things that other people can and take for granted, just to get there and like shut down with the migraine. But so I'd be like, why would I want to go look at a fucking like hike up a mountain just to look at a fucking like city from like slightly higher up? Like, it's pretty, but like I can look at a picture and be like, wow, that's pretty. But I don't know how to put it, but being there is a different level of information that you can't convey in any sort of media whatsoever. Not just the smell and the exertion, but like seeing the scale of the environment and taking in the sort of aspects of like where you are relative to everything else. I don't know. It's hard to quantify. But so yeah, like I've come to be like, there is value, and I think nature is not overrated, but I can understand that viewpoint. Like, I definitely, like most of my friends that I grew up with and a lot of people I know are like, nah, I don't want to go like hiking or go camping or go to the mountains or go to the beach or go on a scenic trip or something like that. But I do enjoy, I still like immensely love going on like road trips and doing things with people. Like, those are a bigger draw usually than going somewhere scenic and taking it in. Because it's fun to disconnect with a bunch of friends and hang out IRL, but also do things IRL and get that like adventure together. But I will do them solo. It is sad sometimes, perhaps, especially in the modern era, because like when you disconnect for any extended period of time, you're gonna miss so much now in an era where so much is always happening. But like, I think it's worth its weight in gold, especially to like give yourself time to yourself.
Yeah.
Just watch Eurocamp. At least do that much. I don't know. I'm excited by this because like this is the first time I'm seeing Fizzy excited to go outside.
Jesus, that's not even true.
Okay. That sad. Like, I don't want to do this weekly because like,
Yeah, I know.
I don't want yet another thing to be like turned into like a stream thing that I want to do. Like, I want to go to the beach and enjoy myself and not have to be like, I was worried about this taking over like the North Carolina trip to an extent, and it did take over the North Carolina trip, and I just kind of like I was like, well, that's the cost of doing business. But it was fun. It was exciting.
Yeah.
Was this all some kind of elaborate plug for Guru Camp? Speech and all?
Guru Camp.
Guru Camp is something different entirely. Guru Camp, on the other hand, yes, no, not sponsored. No, I do. I have always, though, felt like I want to find adventure in the real world, not just video games. Because I don't feel like there's any difference. Like, I quit MMOs for such a long period of time because I felt like they were work. Like, why the fuck would I get a second job that I have to pay to be there at? Like, why don't I just go on an adventure IRL? But then, like, I eventually got lonely because nobody else wanted to do it. Lazy fucks. And, like, started playing MMOs again. Literally, because it was 2020 and the friends that I did have stopped meeting up. So I was just lonely because it had been 6 months since I saw another living person. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna fucking install this MMO that people have been trying to get me to play for 5 years, and I've been saying no every time because they will play the fucking MMO but won't pay their goddamn rent. What's up, Busy? I see you looking at Porsche models on
No, I was just
Sketchfab.
trying to see if this was an attribution one, but I guess this is actually from BMNG, so that's funny.
Yeah, we forgot about that.
But I think we're actually in the clear. Hi, Hollowed Soul.
Hi, Hollowed. What if you made it a YouTube thing? Go capture on video and put it on YouTube. Also, it's weird seeing the Fizzy model peeking out from behind you. Oh my god. I mean, like, a lot of people do, like, here's me exploring or overlanding or this, that, and the other. You know, they do just YouTube vlogs, or whatever. But doing it live is definitely a unique aspect. But also, like, VTubing, I feel like is best done live. There are VTubers, though, who do, like, post form, like, mainly Japanese VTubers. Like, I do like the VTuber, like, chill, calm content category, but I feel like there's more Japanese VTubers who do that and who find success in that. I don't think it's as big of a thing in the States or West or English-speaking world, but maybe it could be. So, food for a thought.
Neat. Definitely potential. Should we wrap up for the night? It's 12:30.
Do you want to read Hollow's comment? Because I feel like you have more perspective on that than I do.
Oh, it's gonna be somewhat addicting depending on how much time you're willing to spend on it. Isn't that kind of like a...
Ow.
Isn't that kind of like a... Like... I don't know. I guess to me that reads as like... There's probably a secondary meaning that you're putting into it that I'm not getting out of it. I'm sorry.
I think MMOs can be addicting in that they have a story that's on rails that's exciting and you want to play to get more and more of that. Like any story that, you know, like you pick up a good book, you don't want to put it down. But then there's the aspect of the grind of an MMO. And I feel like that's more of FOMO. Like maybe you get addicted to like chasing the next high or the next achievement in that game. But I feel like the FOMO keeps people there. Keeps people logging in for the daily bonus or their weeklies or what have you. But I feel like that is one of those aspects of MMOs that is, I always forget the word that I'm searching for here. but it's not a good thing in my opinion. But like I said, I've come to see MMOs as a social thing, and that they can be good in that, but I think you should be able to have adventures IRL.
IRL's good too. Everything is good.
Definitely you should do more cosplay adventures IRL. Or adventures with aliens.
I see.
Aliens want friends too.
Yeah.
Some MMO, you mean the critically acclaimed MMO Final Fantasy XIV with a free trial includes the entirety of Realm Reborn and the award-winning Heavensward expansion and the Stormfall expansion up to level 70 with no restrictions on playtime. Sign up and enjoy yours here today. Sure. IRL adventures cost money. No, that's absolutely fair. Like, I don't think people should take the like small things for granted. And I think immersing yourself in like the culture that we have of like only big and expensive things are worth doing. And this goes a little bit to the stuff I was talking about cars earlier, which is like where like I don't enjoy car stuff as much as I used to because I feel like unless you have a ton of money to throw at it, nothing you do is going to be interesting enough to merit anything. But like I think there's cheap and easy accessible adventures you can have, but that usually involves camping, let's be honest, and it's kind of painful and hard to camp, so I get it, it's fair. Well, it's ironic that chat is picking up now when we need to go to bed, but we do need to call it.
Sorry, everybody. It's really late.
Fizzy has work in the morning, and I want to... I really want to read all your comments and respond to everything else. But, unfortunately, right now, Fizzy has to get up pretty early, so what would be our normal ending time is, like, bedtime. So we're late. But, I'm happy to respond to them later or in Discord. And I will say that, like, it is really expensive to adventure with online friends that are far apart. And I get that. That was a big struggle of mine in life for the longest time. And it still is. So, at the least know that I feel you there.
Oh, and I wanted to reply to something that Jade said a while ago. I just didn't want to interrupt. Reproject in a shader. Yes, absolutely. The problem is just figuring out how to get the input, or sorry, the output to conform to echo rectangular with two cameras, because you can't do it with one camera, and getting the stitching right, and then getting the transformation right. That was it. I just was thinking about it. Definitely possible, just a lot of math. All right. That was, I mean, there's more stuff, but should we just,
Yeah.
should we rate or should we just end?
We can just end.
All right, sure.
I would generally prefer to rate out, but we are way past
I'm good either way.
Fizzy's bedtime, so let's just
Yeah, I'm
kill it.
pretty shot.
Because Fizzy needs to be awake in 6 hours.
Yep. All right, everybody. Thank you all for watching, and thanks for, I don't know, hanging out for our deconstruction of our Sunday stream, I guess.
Yeah, appreciate your patience as we kind of work through the like brain scrambledness that we're in right now, but also just hanging out and letting us sort of like try to get everything to come back so we could pick our brains through whatever the fuck we just did. Please check us out on our socials, because we're gonna try to do this again sometime in the near future. but also, you know, we're gonna try to get back to the norms and do the normal stuff as we can. So we've got Discords, Twitters, Blue Skies, this, that, and the other.
Yeah, whatever.
There you go. There's a working Discord link for Fizzy server. All right, I think that is everything. So yeah, we'll say rating out for next time.
You betcha. Good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.
Night, everybody.
Good night.